Welcome to the Indie Corner After Dark. We're not only talking about all things independent comics, but everything comics. I'm Mikey.
I'm Seamus.
And today, people, we are back at it again with our 20th episode of Indie Corner After Dark. We made it. We made it to 20, guys, without getting the channel shut down. It's a miracle.
Who would have guessed?
Who would have guessed we would make it to 20 episodes? But most importantly, people, this is the first episode of the new year. So happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year, Seamus.
Happy New Year, Mikey. How's your New Year going?
So far, it's been all right. I mean, it's been cool. Nothing too crazy. What about you, man? How was your New Year so far?
It's been good. It was pretty quiet until yesterday when a pretty major thing happened to me.
Okay,
I had a very good thing happen to me yesterday.
which I'm assuming we'll maybe talk about in this podcast, maybe.
Yeah. I got it sitting right here. I've been rubbing it for good luck so far.
Listen, man, but yeah, we'll get to that because I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, people, we're back again with episode 20 of Indie Corner After Dark, and we're gonna do the same thing we did last year. We're gonna be talking about the best and worst comic books of 2023 of the year. So pretty much a reflection episode of the podcast, which I'm excited for because me and Seamus have been talking off camera and all that, and for the past week prepping for this. And I don't know, Seamus, I don't know about you, but I think we had this year, 2023 was a pretty good year for comic books. There were a lot of bangers this last year.
Yeah, I can't really. I mean, we'll get into it later, but I couldn't really find anything that I was genuinely like, this is really bad this year, which is really good. It's really good, and I think it goes to show that there are only bangers coming out nowadays, which
is great.
Yeah, I could count on one hand the amount of books that I read that I was like, but they weren't like horrific enough that I'm like, this is the worst of the year. It was all really good shit this year, which is why I'm really excited to talk about it.
Yeah, man. But yeah, all right. So we'll get right into it. But before we start, as of, I guess it's becoming a tradition now at this point, but as of last year, we're gonna do a little bit of like a memoriam because I feel like every year when I want to do this type of podcast, just remember like all some of the creators that have passed. And luckily, as of 2023, there weren't a lot of creators that passed away. Not like 2022, where there was a plethora of a bunch of major people in the industry that died. So yeah, we'll just do that. But as of Seamus doing quick research, the only ones who have passed are John Romita Sr., who again is a legend, known for Spider-Man and a lot of other cool stuff at Marvel. And then obviously is the father of John Romita Jr. And Keith Giffen, who was the co-creator of for me, what I can remember is Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle.
Yeah, he did my favorite. I think my favorite Marvel event of all time. He did Annihilation. He created Rocket. He created Lobo. He did so much good shit that I'm a big fan of. So that was really like, that was a hit. That was a hurt one this year because it was only like a couple months ago, but it was like, ooh, damn. Anyway, I rest in peace, Keith Giffen and John Romita Sr.
John Romita Sr.
I mean, John Romita Sr. You can't. His art is so influential to so much of the stuff that we see nowadays. It's just,
of course,
you know what I mean. There weren't that many losses, but those two were really, really big.
Yeah, they were pretty big. Yeah, but yeah. I mean, so as Seamus says, R.I.P. to John Romita and Keith Giffen and whoever else we didn't mention that we couldn't figure out. We'll just.
If we missed anyone, comment. Let us know, and we will give pair respects.
And yeah, I mean, Seamus, you want to do like a quick moment of silence real quick before we
we'll do a little couple seconds for Annihilation. I love Annihilation. I'll do it.
I mean, yeah, for Annihilation, for Blue Beetle,
I'll do it. Keith Giffen, let me say real quick. He made that event happen with his bare hands, okay? And he had to fight for that shit, and that shit was good. So I will give it a full day of silence right now.
I got you. Yeah. So I'll turn the music off and just quick moment of silence. All right, and I think that's good enough. So yeah, people. So yeah, we're just gonna get right into it. So we're gonna do something new, actually. Just to start off, we didn't do this last year, but we're going to be doing something that I'm kind of dubbing The Indie Corner Awards. The Indie Corner Awards 2023, where we pretty much, I should change to 2024 because that just makes more sense. Yeah. I should do that. Yeah, but Indie Corner Awards 2024, where I wanted to give out like accolades and just spotlight different creators, different talking about like best writer, best artist, best cover artist, stuff like that. Like more like a typical like award show to give out. Give some people their flowers. I feel like it is deserved, especially with this banger every year. So So the Indie Corner Awards 2024, and let me. So
dude, they better be putting these on the jackets. They better be putting these on the back.
Yeah.
On the back of these trades, we better be seeing winner of the Indie Corner Best Creative Team Award.
Listen, man, if God forbid, if we are big enough, we will make custom 3D printed awards and send them out to the creators somehow.
Yeah, and they will get them and they will be like, what the fuck is this? Yeah.
But yeah, so let me just share the screen right quick and then we'll just we'll get right into it. But oh shit, I almost gave a little bit of a spoiler. but yeah, I will. The way it will work is I will start off, and then I think I'm first, and then you're second. So the first category of the night is best writer of 2023, and for my choice is best writer of 2023 goes to none other than my boy Rodney Barnes, who is the author of a plethora of stuff, but most notable for Philadelphia, Nita Ha's Nightmare Blog, and Blackula, Return of the King, just to name a few. Yeah, man, I love Rodney Barnes. Ever since I started reading Getting More into Philadelphia earlier last year, I've been obsessed with his work. Every time he dropped an issue of Philadelphia, of Nita Ha's Nightmare Blog, I've been reading it every single time. He's phenomenal. This guy's like, when you think of a storyteller, in terms of how this man writes characters, how this man incorporates themes into his work, in terms of his love for like the supernatural and just monsters and horror. It's this guy. He's been killing it. And yeah, man, Rodney Barnes, he's the truth. And just a quick recommendation. Or earlier this week, I started listening to just a little plug, but listening to his podcast that he does called Run Fool, which is on Spotify and on Apple Music and any other where you get your podcasts. It's pretty much a podcast where he's basically like telling like stories that either he's heard in his travels throughout the course of his life or from family members about like supernatural creatures and monsters and like ghosts and stuff. It's awesome. It's such a really cool, fun like narrative podcast. There's an episode. His first episode is about the Wendigo, which was really good. And he did one on the Jersey Devil. There's one on the Goatman, which I gotta listen to. And also some other like stuff that I've never heard of before, like the Rougarou, which is a like werewolf that's based in like Louisiana that like attacks and eats the sinners of the world. It's such a stuff like that. It's really awesome. But yeah, man, Rodney Barnes, man, you're killing it. What are your thoughts, Seamus? Do you have any thoughts on Rodney Barnes? You read some of his stuff?
I read the first issue. I picked it up off your recommendation. And the first issue goes hard. I like it so far. I'm excited to read the rest of it. Based on what you say, it sounds like it's very good, and so far I think it's very good. I have to get into more of his stuff because you've always recommended me a lot of his stuff, and I just haven't gotten into it yet. But if this is anything to go off of, it's going to be pretty fucking good. So
and just to show off how talented he is, like he's a known like screenwriter as well. Like he did a lot of like he made a list on his Instagram of like every character that he loves so much that he just loves to write, and it's like every prominent character in like Black culture. It is kind of wild. Like he wrote for Uncle Ruckus in the Boondocks.
I was gonna say, I think I remember him writing for the Boondocks, or at least he told me he wrote for the Boondocks, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. I
was like, bro, like he wrote like Mr. Nancy in American Gods, which is like one of my favorite fictional characters in television like ever.
I like American Gods too.
He has a pretty interesting like resume, like so yeah, it's great. But yeah, nonetheless, Rodney Barnes, amazing.
Didn't he?
What's up?
I realized where I know him from, not from comic books. He's a executive producer and writer on Winning Time.
Yes, he is.
On Winning Time. And I was like, oh, yeah, because I was like, I recognize the name and him, not from comics, but for somewhere else. Why? And now I was like, oh my God, he writes Winning Time.
I have to watch that show because that was on my list for a while, but I heard it's really good. And he also said that like Magic Johnson is one of his favorite characters.
Yeah, Declan got really into. Declan watched Winning Time, and it was so good it got him into basketball. It got him into basketball. He followed basketball for a bit and played 2K because Winning Time was so good.
That is hilarious. That is so funny. This man is such a good writer. He converted him to a sport. He
converted someone who doesn't watch sports at all into an avid basketball fan.
And I'm looking at his video real quick that he posted on Instagram right now. But also like Everybody Hates Chris. Like he wrote for Everybody Hates Chris as well.
Yep.
And Mr. Nate for American Gods. Yeah, he's very talented. He's very talented. Just across from comics, television. Like he's phenomenal. But yeah. So let's move on. Seamus, what is your best writer of 2023?
My best writer is, of course, motherfucking Tom King.
Tom
Motherfucking King. You know what? I said to everyone when it happened, I was like, listen, Batman, he's allowed one miss. And that, guess what? Since then, that's really the only miss he's had.
You told me that, bro. You said like he's had one miss and every single time he's just been winning.
Yes. I was like, Mikey, he has had one miss so far, and it is okay. And based on this year, yeah, because as you see there, I put up Human Target, Love Everlasting, Wonder Woman. What he also did Penguin, that cool Penguin solo.
I've heard that was good. I heard that was good.
He did Danger Street too. Danger Street was also very good.
I heard about that one as well. I didn't grab it yet.
Those are all those books came out this year. All of those books considered bangers of the year. You will see multiple of his books on my best of the year list because Mikey can tell you, I loved Human Target.
Dude, I loved Human Target. Dude, I thought Human Target was incredible.
We will have a whole discussion on that in a bit. Love Everlasting was such an interesting premise, and I'm not gonna really talk about it because all I'm gonna say is when it comes up later, but it's better if you don't know the plot. And his Wonder Woman so far, I've been really fucking with. Now,
yeah, that's the thing too. Like Love Everlasting, I saw on a list of books that came out last year, and I thought it was like, oh, Tom King, like looked like he's writing a rom-com, and I was like a romance book, and I was like, I've never really seen him do that before.
It's exactly what you think from like a Tom King rom-com, where you're like, okay, this is cool, and then the shoe drops, and you're like, okay, all right, this is interesting.
I agree. He's been putting out bangers like Human Target
I was stuck in between. I was originally gonna do it was between him, Chip Zdarsky, Mark Waid, and Al Ewing. Those were my four that I was down to, and I was looking at all their books, and I was like, I liked all of their books, but Tom King was the only person whose every book I read this year, I was like, I love this. This is my new favorite. And then a new Tom King would come out, and then that would be my new favorite.
Yeah, nah, man. It's just, and I've also heard his Wonder Woman so far has been nothing but amazing. So
yeah.
I gotta read that at some point because everyone's been telling me it's been great. like
yeah, it's so good.
But yeah, all right. You all set? You want to move on, or you have any more?
Sir, what's up?
All right. So the next category is a best artist of 2023, and this one was tough for me because there were some of the books that you'll see on like my best list for the year had some really great artists. So I was like, it was tough for me to pinpoint which art I like the best. But for me, man, I don't know what it was, but my best artist of the year, and I've seen this man's work before, but like haven't now reading it like mostly just like on their IG in terms of like their sketches and like their cover that they do. But like now seeing them do interiors in some of the books that I've read, I'm like, oh wow, it just stood out to me. But my best artist of 2023 is Pepe Larraz. Pepe Larraz is a monster. He's a monster, bro. He's such a good he not only is, he's also very talented in terms of like, his the amount of like his detail he puts into his work, the way he does composition, but like he's genuinely like he's a good artist and genuinely he's a really amazing storyteller. His work is so easy to follow when you read it. But yeah, no, his artwork is a bang. And as you can see here, like obviously I put the main page is from one of my favorite pages in the Big Game book that Mark Millar did, but involving Kick-Ass. But did you peep that My Hero Academia thing he did?
I did because I saw that earlier this year and I was like, oh, bro, they're getting comic artists to do My Hero?
Like, I have it on here. I'll full screen layout it just so people can see. But like, bro, like it like the fact. Oh shoot!
He's spoiling everything.
but the fact that I didn't see nothing. Don't worry about it. But this one right here, bro, where you see him just do like the entire like villains of My Hero Academia, I was like, bro, I want to see him redo every single volume of My Hero, like the covers, just because it looked so good. I was like, wow. But yeah, man, Pepe Larraz is just incredible. And also like his black cat covers are like really good. For the Black Cat Solo series. I was like, yeah, man, this man is just, as a cover artist and mostly as an interior artist, he's just phenomenal. Like from here on out, anything that he drops, I'm gonna read. So it's just, I'm a new fan of his now. He's become one of my favorite artists. But yeah, so Seamus, what are do you have any more thoughts on Pepe Larraz or?
I fucked with his art. He was definitely one of the finalists for me too. I almost picked him purely for that My Hero art because that was really, really good.
Yeah, for me, it was just like it was between him, Nicholas Draper Ivy, and like and Jason Sean Alexander. I was like, bro, like it was so tough, but for some reason, like after reading like Big Game, like that artwork just stood out to me. I was like, this is
I knew. See, I knew because I knew it was Big Game that was making you go like, yeah, because you're fucking with Big Game this year.
Yeah, dude, like. Like he was doing artwork in that book that was so much better than like the series that those characters originated from. It was that crazy. But yeah, I digress. But yeah. So what is your favorite artist 2023, Seamus?
As you have seen on accident, probably.
I didn't see it.
My artist of this year was someone who consistently made me go, holy shit. And especially in a lot of the books I read this year, his art appeared a lot, mostly in DC books for a reason. But I think my artist this year was Dan fucking Mora.
Dan Mora is also great.
Dan Mora's art was insane. Every issue of World's Finest, every issue of Titans, I was just like, he needs to draw everything DC related. I think he should be the only DC artist. Because it's just all so good,
dude. I'm not gonna lie though, because I've been a fan of Dan Mora ever since I first saw him when they did Future State.
Yeah,
I was like,
Future State was originally the first time I saw him, and I too was also like, holy shit, who's doing this art? This looks really cool. And then when you saw like Terry in his suit, and you were like, fuck, that's a cool looking Terry McGinnis.
Yeah, but then what pretty much sold me on Dan Mora's work was two things. Was seeing his Power Rangers stuff that he was doing at Boom Studios, which was cool. And then he did the first volume of the Buffy reboot, and I thought it was amazing, and I was very sad, and he didn't continue after the first volume because the artwork was so good. But I figured you were gonna pick him just because of like World's Finest, because I heard World's Finest is really good.
Yeah, World's Finest. He gets the chance to draw literally everyone in the DC universe, and every person he draws is just like it's like the pinnacle of their design. It is the end point of what they look like, and it's so good. It's so fucking good. What I really enjoyed from his work this year, last year was his Shazam, which I thought that artwork was. I got his Shazam, and look who's on top of Shazam right there.
Oh, facts. Let's go. That's what I like to see. It's just Dan Mora, man. He's an amazing artist. Like Also, like, shout out to Once in the Future, because that's a book I have to continue reading, because that's what put him on the map, was like Once in Future, because that for Boom Studios, because I heard that book was awesome. The book he did with Kieran Gillen. So yeah. But yeah, man. I'm all good. Do you wanna move on to the next one?
Yes, sir.
All right. So next category is best cover artist. This one was also tough, just because like you could easily pick an interior artist that does covers, but I specifically wanted to I picked someone specifically who just just does cover work.
Like on the Dan Morris slide, all I have are his covers that are up.
Yeah,
he does great
Pepe
covers.
Pepe Larraz is the same thing. Like I love his X-Men covers. His X-Men covers are incredible. But like it's just I just wanted to do. He also does interiors, so I just wanted to like do someone specifically that does covers. So the person I picked, and this one I had to give it some thought, but is I'm gonna butcher this name, but I think it's like DK Ruan is how you say his name. He's I love DK Ruan's cover art. He's phenomenal. It's a very he has like the detail of like Pepe Larraz, but like kind of like the painted style of like kind of like who's a good example, like kind of like Ariel Olivetti in a way, in terms of like the way like it looks painted. It looks it's beautiful. It's beautiful work. Because like he did the Batman neo gothic stuff that just came out last year. But for me it was like his covers for Miles Morales Spider-Man that he did. I thought those were incredible. But also as you see, he did some of the Alien stuff that came out last year, and also this is a variant of Something That's Killing Children. Yeah, no, he's an amazing artist. I love his work. It was between him. It was him and I'm gonna also butcher this name. Kael New. I think that's how you say his name. It's Kael and then NGU is his last name. I couldn't decide between the two because their styles are very similar. So I was like, but I don't know. It's just DK Ruan, man. He made the cut. But yeah, you have any thoughts on DK Ruan?
That's a good pick. I had that Miles cover as like my phone wallpaper for like a good couple months this year, because that goes hard. And I love his alien art too. His alien art, that just looks so cool, dude. I didn't really read much of the Alien series, but like I saw a lot of the covers throughout the year. I'm like, these covers are amazing. Like they're really good covers. But yeah, that's it for me. Seamus, who is your best cover artist 2023? This is gonna be a bad look when you go to the next slide.
Oh, really?
But I love these covers, and I'm not ashamed to say it. My cover artist for this year was I'm going with a classic. I'm going with Art Germ. I think Art Germ. Look at these two covers. Okay. Listen. Not only does Emma Frost look hot as fuck, but the art is so well done.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. Art Germ knows how to draw some women.
Like, he does. He really does. And this year, I didn't even put it on here, but the Loki variant too.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, oh, it's like I'm looking at like one of those old like Renaissance paintings or something where you're just like, whoa.
Like here's the thing. Like I also really enjoy Art Germ. And the thing is, like, I don't know if you've been in your Comic-Con. There was last time I was there, he had a whole booth dedicated to himself. Like,
oh yeah,
a huge it was like Alex Ross level. Like
yeah.
Huge. It's amazing work, and again, a digital artist, so he's very. His artwork almost looks near perfect. It's what Midjourney should be. It's what Midjourney tries to do.
Yeah. These two covers were like the two covers that I was like blown away the most by. Because there was like, of course, Alex Ross was putting out bangers all year with the Fantastic Four and Immortal Thor, and I was like, yeah, of course I can put Alex Ross on here, but like you could put Alex Ross on here every year, you know what I mean?
That's true.
But that Wonder Woman cover, that Wonder Woman #1 variant, where she's got like the bullets are bouncing off all her shit while she's putting the tiara on, I was like, fuck yeah, that goes so hard. That should be like the cover of every Wonder Woman related media.
His artwork has definitely been like everyone's like phone screensaver for like the past like couple of years. Like his artwork is incredible. But my one gripe with it though, because he has a very like you can tell that like I think he's an Asian artist, so like he has a very like anime like Eastern style the way he does like faces. But my problem is a lot of his faces tend to look the same, and it bothers me a little bit. Not saying that they're bad, but like it's just like some of them looks most of the faces of him doing him doing people of different races, they look the same. And it kind of bothers me, but it's still great artwork. So
listen, brother, I ain't looking at the faces. Let me tell you something.
Okay, hold up.
I ain't looking at but he needs to start. Listen, once he starts drawing men, it's over.
I mean, yeah.
Once you start drawing dudes, once you get like a ripped Captain America on one of these covers, it's over for everyone. They're gonna be down.
Facts. That's facts. I'm not even gonna lie to you about that. That's kind of facts. But yeah, that's all I got. You wanna move on to the next one?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So the next one is your best creative team of 2023, and this one was, again, a lot of these things were tough, but because there were a lot of great creative teams this year in terms of some of the books that came out. But I don't know why. Just for me, in terms of it was longevity. I don't know why. For me, it was longevity in terms of a book that a creative team that was so consistent for a very long period of time. And unfortunately, this creative team is over as of last year. But for me, my best creative team of 2023 goes to the Chip Zdarsky Daredevil creative team. So Chip Zdarsky, Marco Cicchetto, Matthew as doing the artwork. I forgot I did not put the other artist there because he technically counts. Who does some of the supporting artwork? Matthew Wilson on colors, Clayton Coles on lettering, and David Lewis as the editors. I mean, listen, man, you could even count the previous volume before that, before the relaunch, like it's the same team. Just in terms of longevity, like it's just these guys have been so consistent in terms of the quality, in terms of the storytelling. It's just if you want to consider both the first volume before and the second volume with the relaunch, this is a team that's stayed together since 2018 till now, and till 2023, and they've been putting out like great work. So yeah, the Daredevil 2022 and I guess 2023 and 2019 team are for me one of the best creative teams out in comics right now. They're and I'm sad to see them gone. Like it's just
that's true. That's it. Listen, yeah, I I fully agree with you. I fully agree with you to the point where I almost had them too. I almost was like, yes, this was the best creative team. But then I had another thought, and then I was like, no, it's got to be something else. Not to say these guys are, of course, not to say Chip Zdarsky and Mark Cicchetto are bad or anything, but I think there was a creative team that went harder this year, that did better this year, that did more this year.
All right, well, Seamus, and then let's segue into that. What was the creative team that won over? I think
the creative team of this year was the Moon Knight team. I think Jed MacKay. I think, dude, you giggle. This shit. I don't think I've ever read a comic like a comic run that has introduced more new characters and have had all of them be hits. They are all hits. Like you introduce another Moon Knight and he's a hit. You introduce Reese, like a random vampire girl that Moon Knight takes under his wing. She's a hit. You introduce this guy named Soldier, who's just a soldier dude, who just doesn't, like, he's a retired veteran. He's a fucking hit. You know what I mean? You introduce like a crazy dude named Zodiac, who's like basically Moon Knight's Joker, and he's a fucking hit. And he's not derivative of Joker. He's fun as fuck. You know? It was
I got you.
And
like
the art of this book, right? It's just so good.
Go ahead.
It was such a good
Cappuccio
run.
Kills it. They really do.
Yeah.
Like I can't deny that. Like Cappuccio, it's the artwork. Like when you look at it, it's so weird, but like it works. It works for the story. Good. It works for the book. Look, you know.
This shit hit this year. Okay, and I'm so sad it's over. I'm so sad because it ended last month, with issue 30 with the death of Mark Spector, but it was so it was so good. It was so well done. But you know what's so good is that it's continuing. It's continuing this month with Vengeance of Moon Knight, where it's all the side characters who normally I'd be like, this is shit, where's Mark Spector? But Jed MacKay has made all these side characters so good that I am excited to read a book without Moon Knight in it. That is just about the Moon Knight side characters.
That says something.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was funny because the moment before Jed MacKay was announced to do Moon Knight, I was a really big fan of his Taskmaster that he did like the year prior.
Yep.
So the moment that they were like, oh yeah, he's doing Moon Knight, I was like, yeah, this is about to be a banger. I knew it. Granted, to be fair, I'm very behind on Moon Knight, but I agree. This it works. It just works really well. In terms of the writing, of the art, in terms of the coloring is also really good. Like, because I've never really seen a costume, especially like because I've only read like the first like 2 volumes of the Moon Knight. I've never seen a Moon Knight costume in terms of coloring perspective that like that glowed. Like because that first volume when you see the new Moon Knight costume, it's like glowing like I was like, this is dope. Like it's so dope. That was awesome.
Yeah, dude. And Jed even like goes deep and is like, yeah, I'm gonna continue the Moon Knight Tigra romance from West Coast Avengers.
Right?
Fuck yeah. And it's like, and he makes it so good where like he acknowledges that like he acknowledges Hank Pym and Tigra's kid with Hank Pym and everything, and then Mark Spector becomes like a like stepdad to this little tiger kid, and you're like, holy shit, this is so good for no reason.
For no reason.
And also like this is like maybe I think this might be the best tie-in book because like they started this purely because they were like, oh, new Moon Knight TV show, we of course need to have a Moon Knight ongoing right now, and then Jed MacKay was like, watch this shit, and then this. A 30-issue incredible run that is getting a spin-off that is just about the side characters again that are so good.
You look right at Kevin Feige's face like there better be no synergy in this book. I'll tell you that.
He's like, fuck you. This is a deep cut for the boys.
Oh man. But yeah, no, I agree, man. The Moon Knight creative team is really good.
Like you gotta catch up. I think if you caught up, you'd be like, Hunter's Moon is the best new character.
I read the first one. I like Hunter's Moon so far. I think he's awesome.
Yeah, and he gets so much better. When you go into like they have a whole thing where Mark goes into his like backstory, and then Hunter's Moon's like with Mark and shit, and you're just like, this is it's so good,
dude. Yeah, we'll probably talk more about Moon Knight. Like I have a feeling, but so
it's there. You know it's on my list, bro.
So the next category, this one I thought I wanted to add. I actually saw this one on the Board Without Fears podcast that he did, which I thought would be cool to add. Was best one shot of 2023. And I don't know about this is me personally, Seamus. I don't like reading one shots. I don't know what it is. I stay away from one shots. But there was one particularly that like it came when it was announced at New York Comic Con, and I was like, you know what? I'm interested in this. This seems interesting, and I'll check it out.
I will say right now, we do have the same one for this one because I saw it too at New York Comic Con, and I had the same thought where I was like, I'll check this out, and then I was like, I was so glad I did because this shit went so hard for no reason.
All right, so we'll just reveal it then. So our best one shot of 2023 was the third iteration of Timeless number 1. Written by Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly with artwork by Juan Cabal. And again, Cale New is the artist who did the cover. Dude, this was a surprise.
They made the most anime shit for no reason, and I loved it. They were like, yeah, Luke Cage is Goku now.
Bro, Luke Cage is just Goku. Luke Cage can fight Superman. Like, why not? Bro, so yeah, like the whole concept about it was so interesting when they announced it at New York Comic Con, where it's like, okay, so Luke Cage is going to be like one of the last heroes alive in like a very far future, and it's just like, and he has the powers of like he has his own powers still. He has the powers of the Hulk. He has the powers of the Sentry. He has the Iron Fist, and they were actually fully embodying like the name like Power Man, which he's obviously the name he's known for. That was really smart. The fact that he was going against someone referring to himself as the Immortal Moon Knight, and it's basically like a Moon Knight, Iron Man, Doctor Strange hybrid.
Yeah.
I was like,
what is it? Moon Knight Unending or whatever. That weird ass name where I was like, whoa, why would you do that?
Yeah. And the thing is, like, Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly, there's some pretty good writers that are popping up, making some good waves in the game recently. Like it's not on my list, but their Guardians of the Galaxy I thought was really interesting.
Yeah,
that came out last year. But dude, this thing was so much fun to read. I just said they did not need to go this hard for no reason. And thing is, like, and this would hit home for me because, I mean, should we talk spoilers? Do you want to? Should we let?
Yeah, go ahead. It's a one shot. It's a quick thing.
Yeah, like this is for the fans of Heroes for Hire, the fans who love Danny Rand and Luke Cage. This is a Danny Rand and Luke Cage focused one shot because it's revealed that, like, well, the issue starts off showcasing the relationship between, you know, like their friendship between Danny and Luke, and the importance of how that, you know, of the importance of that. And when you go into like this like desolate world of, like, you know, this Khonshu and, like, you know, the Immortal Moon Knight taking over the world and all that stuff, and, like, quote unquote bettering society, just to have that reveal. Because me going into it, I was like, oh, this is probably like just like Mark Spector like officially losing his mind. Know what I mean? But the fact that they revealed that the Immortal Moonlight was actually Danny Rand, I was like, whoa, wow. I did not see that coming at all. But obviously it was revealed to be like a Khonshu possessed Danny Rand. Like, it was like, okay, what if, remember that bullshit where, like, it was just Moon Knight and, like, Khonshu taking over the Avengers and shit? But, like, what if we make that better? You know? That's what this one shot was. And seeing Luke do his thing, bro, like, you know, and I was like, damn, like, they're giving Luke Cage some cred. Like, they're giving Luke Cage the respect he deserves. I was so cool. But, yeah, but the thing is, like, I don't know about you, Seamus, because, like, I'm not really keeping tabs on, like, everything around the Marvel Universe, but, like, they're doing, with this one shot, they did a really good job of setting up what's to come for the next year, in terms of, like, events and all that stuff, and the tease that this version of Power Man is in Earth 616. I'm just like, bro, how that gonna work? I'm looking forward to seeing.
I'm excited to see how they do this, because, like, it's like very rarely does Marvel pull a DC and go like, oh, it's future state. Just kidding. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, this is the future, but, like, we don't care anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm excited to see them pay this off, because I think once we get this as like a full series, it's gonna be really fucking good. It's bold to be like, yes, the next year of Marvel is banking on Heroes for Hire fans coming out in droves. And I'm like, fuck yeah, we need more of that shit.
It's our time.
Stop giving me the same, like, shit Spider-Man event. You gotta start giving me like Great Lakes Avengers events. Fuck it.
Oh man. It was a good day to be a Heroes for Hire fan after reading this. But yeah, all right. So the last thing we're gonna talk about is Best Publisher of 2023. Ours are the same, is it?
Yep, it's the same.
Okay,
it is the same.
All right. So best publisher. I mean, if me and Seamus agreed, it's a no-brainer for us because they've been killing it for the past, like, decade or two. But Image, it's Image Comics. Like, Image has always been great in terms of not just the type of books they're publishing, but the amount of crazy talent that they bring to the table. Everyone that's mad at Marvel and DC that don't want to deal with their books, it's like, hey, you can do a book for us, and they make bangers. Like, for here, it's just an example, just like, you know, Radiant Black, you know, the Cull by Kelly Thompson, obviously Saga, because Saga came back as of last year. It's just, like, Transformers
stuff,
it's just all of their books, like a good portion of their books are bangers, and, like, it's just, you know, there's one book I actually read recently that I only read the first issue, but The Deviant, which was I think it was James Tynion the fourth to do The Deviant. That Christmas book that he did out of nowhere. Like, it's just again, in terms of the creativity in terms of storytelling, the amount of the talent that they bring in to publish their own stories. I mean, listen, the Image has been killing it. They've always been killing it. It wasn't. We're the indie corner, for God's sake. What do you think? What did you expect? It's just.
What do you expect? You really thought I was gonna look you dead in the eye and go DC?
DC, or like Marvel?
I was gonna go Marvel.
Oh man. But yeah, people like Image Comics, best publisher of 2023. I mean, it is. For me, I was about it. For me, I was also thinking it would have been Boom, but I didn't read enough Boom last year. Mm-hmm. So, because Boom also, there's some good books from Boom that like I just didn't get a chance to read. So, but it was neck and neck between Boom and Image, but it had to go to Image because I read most of their books this year.
Yeah,
But yeah, guys. I mean, that goes for the Indie Corner Awards, which was fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an every year thing. Yeah, it's gonna be an every year thing now. That was fun. But yeah, all right. So enough of that. So now we're gonna do what we did last year. We're gonna do the worst stuff first, because luckily there's less of that. at least for me. Like I honestly, Seamus, only have one thing.
Right? I have some.
You want to go first, or
do
you want me to go first?
I can go first and just give a little spiel about me not reading any bad books this year. Because just like Sal from Comic Pop, like we said off camera earlier, I chose not to read any bad books. I chose to follow. Again, I say this. God bless Zeb Wells, a lovely man who's very nice at New York Comic Con.
Mm-hmm.
Not like his Spider-Man run at all, which is why I, like a normal person, just stopped reading it and just went, see ya. You know, when I was like, God bless the man. I wish him well. He was so nice, but I don't care for his interpretation of Spider-Man, which is why I was done with it. And that was probably the only book that was going to end up on here. But now that I quit reading it this year, I really didn't have anything. I didn't have anything I read this year that was a real stinker that I was like, wow, this must be off my list.
It's like as we just said off camera. Yeah, guys, if you don't hate read, that just gives the big two the illusion that you actually are supporting the book and want it. No, if you don't want it, put your money where your mouth is. Don't read it.
Also, like, it's historically been shown that the big two love hate reading. They love hate reading. They fucking eat it up. Even like the Clone Saga was almost entirely done because they were like, yeah, people hate this. We're gonna get butts in seats trying to read this shit because they're gonna be like, oh, I can't stop. But that's why it's just like important to be like, hey, if you don't like that book, don't buy it. Stop following it. If you guys really don't like Zeb Wells' Spider-Man, instead of harassing him online and sending him death threats and being horrific people, just go, hey, I don't want to read that anymore, and then just go read something that you would like to read.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
I don't know. Just be normal.
And those same people are the ones who are like, hey, we're going to buy all 12 of the Batman books and not support any of the other like gems.
Exactly. And it's like, hey, maybe if you explored outside of even the big two, you would find something that you could enjoy, so that way you wouldn't have to focus on Zeb Wells' Spider-Man, and you could instead focus on like something that you enjoy, because there's so much out there that you could enjoy.
Exactly.
So anyway, my worst comic of this year is comic fans who are harassing creators for no reason because they don't like what's being done with the character instead of going to read something they like. That's my worst comic this year.
Fair enough. No, but I would. That's gonna be my number one worst comic of the year. This comic dance. But yeah. So yeah, my worst comic of the year. I mean, great. Okay. To be fair, I'm not. This book isn't like trash. It just disappointed me. You know, it just disappointed me. But the one book that I would say is my quote unquote worst. And I'll share that real quick. I didn't even nope, that's not supposed to look like that. Hold on. Give me a second. But I mean, it was just this book, like the concept sounded awesome, like the synopsis was, but then when you actually kept reading it, like it was just weak, and I was very disappointed by it. But my worst book of 2023 goes to, hurts me to say this. It really does. But it was Icon versus Hardware by Leon Chills and Raza from Milestone Returns. Here's my thing, right? It was, and the thing is, I was listening to Blurred Without Fear talk about it, and like it resonated me because I felt the exact same way. It reminded me a lot of like Civil War II, where like clearly there's an obvious side, like one because due to like it's Icon versus Hardware. Icon had a valid point of like, hey, this is right, and Hardware was really was wrong, right? Because the idea was, the concept was, Hardware discovering with alien technology from the Icon and Rocket series, he's never had to travel through time, right? He decides to go back in time to pretty much to stop Edwin Alva from, to fix like some of the stuff in his life. So Edwin Alva, being evil and causing the Big Bang, that was like the big one, right? Mm-hmm. And then to the point where like, he goes back in time to, to make sure his dad doesn't leave his mom so they can have a nice little life, right? It was pretty much just like, and Icon was like, hey, don't time travel, because the more you time travel, the more you mess things up. And it was a valid point. But then Hardware just kept doing it for no reason. Every time Icon intervened, he'd be like, okay, no, back to doing it again. Yay. And like, there wasn't really an Icon versus Hardware to the last issue.
Yeah.
And it was just like your book is Icon versus Hardware, like have them fight and do stuff and have this really cool like ideological battle, not just have a clear winner, but then just have us be strung along and just have a fight at the end. I was like, come on, like it's just
I've been keeping up with most of the Milestone stuff, but this I actually didn't read this here. Mm-hmm. Okay, Declan. We already roasted Declan this stream, which is fun.
Yeah, we did. We already did.
But yeah, I didn't get to this one, and I probably will eventually. But I feel like there's much more interesting routes you could take, especially with how much of a gray area some of Icon's ideology is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I feel like there's some great parts that you could easily make into a conflict with Hardware that make you go like, ooh, they're both kind of right, and then it's a really cool conflict. But instead, they decided to do literally Civil War II, where they're like, what are the ethics of stopping crime through time travel? And it's always, don't do it.
Yeah.
It's always, you're going to make more trouble than it's worth.
And actually, that can also comment is Icon. Yeah, he is a conservative, which is crazy. The conservative character was like, had the most, what's the winner?
What I'm saying. But Icon being like a conservative, it's like you could do some super interesting stuff with that. But instead, they were like, "No, what if Hardware time travel?"
Like that's what I thought was gonna happen. Was like even though I thought the time travel element was kind of lazy, like why how come Hardware is discovering time travel in his second iteration in the Milestone Returns like universe? That's kind of a little bit of a jump. But like I thought they were gonna have because Icon's more of pick yourself up by your own bootstraps. Hardware is more of like like fuck the man, we like the fuck the man type, So I was like, I thought they were gonna do a very interesting like ideological battle there, and that could be really interesting. But it just wasn't that. Also, they had a backup story where like it's also like Rocket in this like new fancy school, and that didn't even go anywhere either. Like she wasn't even involved for the most part.
They couldn't get Rocket in the book, so they were like, "Oh, put her in the backup. Put her in the backup."
Yeah, and I'm just like, what? Like, I only read the first I dropped off after like 2 issues. I was like, this is not good.
Well, it's like when you say Icon versus Hardware and you're making it like a Civil War thing, my mind immediately jumps to, oh, Icon's going to be the Iron Man and Hardware's going to be the Captain America. But instead, it sounds like they flip flopped, and instead, Icon's like Cap, where he's like, "No, we have to be free," and whatever. And then Hardware's like, "No, we have to control time by stopping crime." And you're like, "Oh,
yeah, pretty much."
I don't know why they always in every Civil War they make the guy in the metal suit the dick for some reason. Why can't he be the cool one who's right?
Right. But yeah, that's pretty much what I would consider my worst book of the year. It's like it was just. it's not awful, but it disappointed me a little bit.
It just wasn't what you were looking for, and it made you go like, which sucks. But
yeah. But yeah, I didn't even put my banner up. Oh shit! Yeah, I'll put that just for.
There you go. It's up now.
But yeah. So now we're gonna move on to our best books. Shame, I don't, because I remember last year me and Maddie went first, and we were like, you were like, I didn't even get a chance to talk about anything. So
yeah,
I will let you go first.
All right. Because this year I feel like we might not have similar books because I don't know. I feel like we might have some same, but like I feel like this year there were so many good books that we'll have some variation. But exactly. I'll try to be quick. I think I have about 20.
Do you have a slideshow? Do you want to show?
I do. I think I sent it to you. I think I did.
Did you send it to me? Oh shit!
I think I did. Check your Gmail, brother.
I'll check. I didn't check my.
Check your Gmail. You gotta check that Gmail. I did.
That's
I made one.
Funny. Okay. I was gonna let you just screen share it, but okay.
No, I sent it to you. I thought I was trying to prep good. I mean, I can screen share now, but
I got you. No, listen, I appreciate it. But yeah, so also for if Declan, you're still here, because we were also talking off camera that you didn't think. Declan told me that he didn't think that there were that many good books this year. So now this is the part where we tell you that
which is insane.
You're wrong.
Which is insane to me.
Right?
Also, I know he can't say that because he point blank refused to read Daredevil. He straight up looked me in the eye and was like, "I'm not reading Daredevil," and I went, "Cool, dude." Then you don't get to turn around and tell me there weren't good books this year if you don't read.
Oh my god! Wow, Declan, no, Declan, why? No. Okay, Seamus, hold on. Which email did you send it to me? You sent it to my other email, or did you send it to the Indie Corner email? I'm trying to find it.
I can present it right now if you want me to. I got it up right now. Fuck
okay, yeah. Let's make it easier. I don't want to waste more time.
Yeah. All right, let's put.
I'm gonna just read Declan's comments real quick, just because he's on some shit.
Yeah, read his comments before we're getting the shit up.
But yeah, let's see. What is Declan talking about right now? He said he's like AT&T told him not to touch politics. All right. He said he's still here. Okay, it's good. Transformers was my favorite book of this year. I mean, listen, it was a good book. Kirkman Hasbroverse. And Rebecca's like, you shocked Mikey into silence because of the whole Daredevil thing. Listen, man, what? That's not good.
Right? Because I was telling him about the ending, and he's like, I don't care about the ending. And so I was telling him about the ending, and he goes, yeah, I'm probably not going to read that. And I was like, oh, fuck you, dude.
All right, I digress. So just to continue, Seamus, well, your best comics of the year, and I will send. Here's the slide. So yeah, what are your best? Surprise me! What are your best comics of 2023, Seamus?
I got a lot. The first one is one we already talked about. The first one's one we already mentioned. Of course, Moon Knight. By the way, these are not in a specific order. Moon Knight is not like my first favorite of the year because I don't think I could pick one single favorite of this year. But Moon Knight is certainly up there. So Moon Knight, of course. As I said earlier, Jed McKay stuck the landing with the son of a bitch. It was so good, especially this year. The lead up to that whole the Black Knight arc and everything, it was so good. The reveal that I literally read it yesterday of the reveal of who Black Knight was, the new Black Knight was, and the resolution of all the Mark's story arc, which isn't really a resolution. It's a resolution kind of in the same way that the end of the first Daredevil, Chip Zdarsky Daredevil run was, where you're like, oh, they're just completely changing a book for the next arc.
I got you.
I was like, they totally tee up a whole thing that, like, where they're like, they of course have Mark and Hunter Moon run through like the Moon Knight mausoleum of all the other Moon Knights who have died as Moon Knight. And I'm like, oh, wow, I wonder where Mark's going to go in the next book. You know what I mean? But I'm excited to see them continue this with the Midnight Mission with all the characters at the bottom there, continuing it.
I got you.
They made me give
the whole Midnight Mission is like the roster for it is awesome. Like
it's such a cool thing to have it's like a living building that at the end they do this twist at the end. I don't want to spoil too much, but like a certain character, the Midnight Mission is like an extension of Khonshu and Moon Knight's desire to like help those who are at the lowest of society. And at the very end, a certain villain is stuck in the Midnight Mission, and he's like, look into my mind. I want the same thing Mark does. And then the Midnight Mission lets him go, and you're like, so what does he want? Because you never really got the idea of like who he is or whatever. And it was the most interesting thing I've seen done this year in a comic. I was just like blown away by it. But,
I got you.
Yes. Yeah. Please check out the whole run. Please check out Vengeance of the Moon Knight coming out this month. But yeah, that was
it's already out, right?
I think it is. I think it did come out yesterday, actually, alongside the Ultimate Spider-Man #1, which if you haven't picked up, by the way.
Yep.
We will be talking about it. We'll have a whole discussion because we're not going to wait another year to put that on the best of list. We're talking about that shit today.
Also, Declan made a comment and said, "I can't read it until I buy it in Omni." I mean, listen.
Okay, by the way, real quick, he got like 3 Omnis for Christmas, and yesterday he had them all laid out with the spine, and I was like, dude, you're laying those spines out and you're not reading them. I know you're not reading that shit.
He said, I read the first issue of the new Moon Knight and I had no clue what was going on in therapy or some shit. Bro, I reread it today and I knew exactly what was going on. What do you mean?
Your comprehension skills are struggling.
Oh man. But all right, no, moving on. But yeah, what's the next book? Also, can I control the slide? Well, that's new.
You can control the slide?
Shit.
Oh, don't take my slides away from me. Damn.
Okay, no, I'm gonna let you control it. No, that's all you.
Okay. My next book, Batman and Superman World's Finest, Mark Waid, Dan Mora. This shit, has been, it's so nice to just have like, hey, they're best friends. Hey, you know what I mean?
Our boys being boys.
Yeah, it's literally what it is. It's been boys being boys. Mark Waid does a really fun retelling of like them meeting for the first time. That's really fun. There's a lot of cool stories. I'm not really. I don't know if I'm fucking with Thunder Boy, or at least as he's known now, Thunder. The original character introduced for this arc. He's kind of like the linchpin so far of like the overarching character that appears a lot. But so far, I've loved a lot of the arcs. That fucking, as you can see down there, that fucking Metamorpho arc with the Metal Men and Amazo. It was like Amazo was absorbing like different metals and shit, and it was a whole Metal Men and Metamorpho creating different metals to fight a metal Amazo, and Batman and Superman were like, we don't know what the fuck to do. We're letting the Metal Men and Metamorpho handle this. We're here providing backup. And I was like, that's so fun.
That's sick. I love me some Metamorpho.
And currently they're doing a very sick revisit of Kingdom Come, which I've been really...
That's what I heard about with this one.
Because it's like they've been setting up as a variation of Magog, whose name is Gog, being like the central villain, I guess, for this run, because he's kind of influencing Kid Thunder. And when they go to the Kingdom Come universe, you find out it's like a variation of the Kingdom Come universe that has been controlled by this new, more powerful Magog. And I'm so far really excited to see where that shit goes. But so far, this has been up there in terms of it's just fun. Like they don't. Mark Waid doesn't worry about like, oh, this overarching plot. He's just like, what's a really fun arc using a shit ton of characters from this one corner of the universe? And that's what makes it really fun, because you get to see Batman and Superman just like interact with characters who like in the main books would never interact with.
That's awesome. I mean, Declan asked if they brought back Bumblebee from Teen Titans. I'm like, did she leave?
I'm gonna be real with you, Declan. I don't think she left, but there she is down there, in case you were wondering. All right. Anyway, next book, of course.
So this is no particular order, right?
Yes, this isn't. No, it's in no particular order. It's not.
Okay.
This is just. I just was rapid fire thinking of like my favorites of this year, but this would definitely be a contender for #1, especially with the ending.
That ending was so strong.
That ending was so strong. When he gripped his devil horns, and I nutted. I was ascending. When he was in hell, and he, through the power of Jesus Christ, he made 2 katanas out of his devil horns. I was like, this is not at all anything I've seen from Daredevil before, but God, is it sick as fuck.
It was crazy. It was like
he was with his dad in hell.
You don't see that supernatural stuff happen to Daredevil that often.
Yeah.
Like it was nuts. Like I was
he
like,
was in hell. They had Foggy caged up, and him and his dad were like boxing devils and shit. And I was like, oh, and then it was just,
yeah, but
and then the ending, and then the way that transitioned into the new run,
seamless.
Yeah, it's seamless, and it's not on this list because I don't think it's far enough in for me to be able to put it on my favorites. But the new run is pretty good, and it continues. It's continuing. It's not just dropping the threads from this run and just doing like, oh, this is mine now. It's like Saladin Ahmed's continuing it, which I'm like.
Also, Jack talking shit, and he's doing the snooze emojis.
Yeah. Dude, you chose not to. You should have gone out tonight.
You should have read it.
You should have gone out tonight or at least read Daredevil before you were like, oh, I don't care about Daredevil becoming Jesus Christ himself. Shut up. Anyway, next book, Immortal Thor.
Of course, I forgot about this.
I'm a ride or die for Al Ewing and any Immortal book, but this shit, 5 issues in, has made me just.
You told me to read it. I have
told you. Dude, the way that Al Ewing's like, yep, I'm using Loki in a very cool way. Fuck yeah, I'm bringing back Beta Ray fucking Bill.
As you should.
Fuck yeah, I'm not bringing back Thunderstrike, and instead I'm replacing Thunderstrike with Storm in the Thor Corps.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I love that because they literally go like. Thor literally goes, womp womp, Thunderstrike's dead, we can't use him. Anyway, you know who controls thunder as well? Storm. And
that actually sounds amazing.
You know what's even funnier? Storm is on Mars doing like the X-Men shit. And Thor is just like, hey, do you want to like not do this anymore? And Storm's like, oh, like I really shouldn't, but like, yeah, I kind of the X-Men are falling apart anyway. I'm gonna go be with you, Thor. And then they go fight like this giant, like this giant other god with a giant wheel and shit. And I'm like, yeah, awesome. This shit, I feel like this shit could be better than Immortal Hulk.
Does he have that traditional Thor costume? Because I see it on the covers.
Yes. All the time. Yep. He got the traditional Thor costume. They got. Loki switches genders every other page, and they got the coolest fucking Loki costume. Beta Ray Bill looks like classic Beta Ray Bill. They give Storm her own Thor costume, and I'm just like, oh. Jane Foster has her like classic like Thor costume, and I'm like, give me this shit. It's so good. Cool. I feel like this next it's only gonna get better from here from the way he's setting it up. There's one issue where Loki literally is like, hey, do you trust me as like your brother? And Thor's like, of course. And Loki's like, do you trust me as your greatest enemy? And Thor's like, yes. And then Loki traps him, and Thor has to solve this riddle or else he'll die. Oh, wow. And I'm like, and it's the best issue because Loki the whole time's like, I'm only doing this to help you. He's doing like a Zoom thing where he's like, I'm a villain to help you be better.
That's awesome.
It's so good. But yes, please read it. Please support Al Ewing. God bless.
God bless.
Anyway, next book that I had was Birds of Prey.
Oh my god. Okay, this is where we correlate. Here's where we correlate because I with Daredevil too because
that's good.
I love this book, dude.
When I saw the lineup, I will admit I was a little like
I cringed. When I saw Harley Quinn, I was
and
like,
it was literally because of Harley Quinn. Everyone else I'm chill with. Big Barda, I was like, I'm buying this book for Big Barda and Cassandra Cain. Those are the only two I'm here for. Harley Quinn, I don't need more of. And of course, I should have known that Kelly Thompson was going to create my favorite portrayal of Harley Quinn and was going to make this team one of my favorite teams of the past couple of years in only a few issues as well. Oh,
yeah,
it's such a fun book.
This book so far has been great. Just like the fact that they're re-acknowledging about Cynthia Lance, who everyone forgot about for a very long time. And just the fact that it's them going to Themyscira to free Cynthia Lance, and the thing is as I said, I cringed a little bit because I was like, they put Harley Quinn on this team, and I was like, oh man, don't remind me of.
Yeah, she's like not a bird of prey at all. Like, it doesn't make sense.
That was just synergy just because of the movie. But then they gave a really good reason why Harley Quinn actually is good on a team like this, is because she's unpredictable. Like if Kate Kane, one of the best fighters in the Marvel universe, is getting weaved by Harley Quinn because Harley Quinn is just doing random shit 24/7. Like, that makes sense. So I was like, no, that's about. And I wish they did. I wish Christina Dodson, when she wrote that fucking terrible movie, acknowledged that in Birds of Prey, but she did not.
She did not. She also did not acknowledge who Cassandra Cain is as a person.
Shout out to Rebecca, because she hates that so much, because she's a huge Cassandra Cain fan.
I know, that was so bad. But listen, read this then, because Cassandra in this is pitch perfect. It's great. It's such a good book.
And then the newest where Barda fights Wonder Woman. Jesus Christ.
Yes. I'm so glad we're getting more Barda content. I was such a big fan. Yeah. Again, I'm going to dick ride Tom King again, but Mr. Miracle was so good, and I love Barda in that. And I'm so glad I get more Barda content.
Listen, man, we listen. The Indie Corner supports Dami Mommies on this channel.
Exactly.
We love
it. Quite literally, she's also like one of the only actual Dami Mommies in comics, given that she would tie up fucking Mr. Miracle every night. So like she's a real one.
Yeah, man. But this book is we'll probably talk a little bit more about it when we go to my list. But no, this book was a surprise. I loved it. And the artwork I love like the poppy art style that they got with the artwork. Like it looks so cool.
So stylized too. All right, next book. Miles Morales, Spider-Man, baby.
Oh, this book, okay.
Fucking. So did you? Did you?
I'm caught up. I'm caught up. In the corner here is all of my Miles stuff in there. I would bring it out just to express how much of a huge Miles fan I am, because I have almost every book in the Ultimate Universe stuff. But this book has been some of the best Miles stuff since that shit. Okay,
so I haven't talked to you since I was like teasing like who that character he teams up with was. Bro, wasn't that Blade arc so cool?
Wasn't
that Blade crossover so cool?
Oh, the Blade crossover was so good. Oh man,
what's her name? That speedster who gets infected.
Oh,
and then,
and
then they're like, holy shit, we have a speedster who's a vampire. We're
done.
I was like, this is so good.
Bro, this book has been so much fun. Cody Ziegler he knows how to write Miles, bro.
I'm sorry. Because of course, I think me, as with most people, were first introduced to him through the Spider-Punk.
That's what I read with him too.
Yeah. And I was very excited for him to jump on Miles because that was good. And then, of course, this has just been. Ooh, I'm excited to see what he does. Where those I put this in there because I think I'm the most excited to see those threads that he was laying with Hobgoblin and how he relates. And I'm hyped for him to be like, yeah, why don't we make Hobgoblin Miles as Green Goblin?
Yeah, I love that.
Why don't we give him a Hobgoblin? And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude.
Peter only needs one Goblin.
Yeah. So. And I love his relationship with Tiana. I think that is like the coolest thing.
For me personally, my best thing about the Miles stuff so far, I love his relationship with the Daughters of the Dragon. I think
yes. It was so nice when Misty was like junior detective, and he was like, oh, and he was like, yes, I'm working with Misty, and I was like, finally.
It's kind of wild because like him working with Misty and Colleen kind of like acknowledges that like they're much better mentors than Peter ever was.
Yes. And I'm like that hurts me a little bit because I'm like, God, I wish they would finally just write Peter well. Fuck. You know what I mean? But like, if that means we get Daughters of the Dragon being Miles' mentors and Miles being a junior detective of theirs, that is so fucking cool.
It broke my heart because there was one moment, I think it was like after, like, cause I skipped I only read the one Carnage tie-in. I didn't read the other two. But like the moment they like acknowledged, literally like I had to fight Carnage by myself, and like you weren't there. And then like when Peter came back from his shenanigans with like Zeb Wells' run, and he acted like everything was fine, and I was like, bro, Peter, what are you doing?
Yeah,
dude? Like,
I think it also like extends to a bigger issue where I feel like we are at the point. This is maybe a little too far for some. Oh yeah. Oh, there's a little too far for some people, but I do feel like we might be past the point of Miles needing a mentor. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, I had to fight Carnage all by myself, and in my head, I was like, yeah, Miles.
Well, I mean, Scorpion was with him, but I mean,
I was like, Miles, you could do that totally. Like, yeah, sorry you had to do that, but like, Peter had to fight Miles by himself, or had to fight Carnage by himself the first time. And Miles, you got a laser sword now. I think you're good. I don't think you need people to be like, hey, Miles,
I've said this multiple times without reading this room. Like, this sword, this electric like Venom strike sword that he can create now is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, but I love it.
Dude, I fucked with it only because the way he did it was he pulled it out of his ass. That's why I loved it, because he was totally just a kid going like, can I make a fucking sword with this? And then he did. He was like, fuck yeah, and he started just clashing. And I was like,
we'll talk more about it, but now this is some of the best Miles stuff I've read in a long time.
It's great.
Like, I didn't really like Ahmed's run. I thought it was all right.
I thought it was okay.
For as much as I read.
Yeah.
Even though his Clone Saga was good, I liked his Clone Saga. I thought his Clone Saga was actually good.
Speaking of newest issue, shit.
Freaking Shift
comes back. Yeah,
and I'm like, I was like, dude. It's good stuff, but let's continue.
Yeah, well, because this on your list, I assume.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get back into it later. Titans.
I didn't read
Titans. Mike, you got to read Titans. If you are a fan of like just like back to basics, like Teen Titans shit, this is Mark Waid. Again, another Mark Waid, Dan Moore banger coming out. I don't think they should ever separate as a team. But this Titans run has been so nice to just have like a Titans book that is just like, hey, we're gonna do Titan shit. We're not gonna like, no impending doom, no overarching like craziness. It's just like, hey, we're kids. That's enough to drive the book.
and the thing is like, so like Titans, and the thing is, right, is like, I remember hearing like Blurb Fear talk about it. I think like Sal and Benny talk about it as well, because like once like Nightwing happened with Nightwing 100, they kind of like were setting up that like Titans were gonna pretty much like be the Justice League of like, they're gonna be like the big time, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like as a rereplacement, pretty much. And just like, do you feel like that's the case? Because like they're still making Justice League books, I think, right? Like
I feel Titans are definitely the premier team of the DC universe currently. The Justice League is more like a Justice League International type deal, you know what I mean? Where they're like they're all, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, we're adult superheroes who we have to make a team because the big boys are absent, you know what I mean? But the Titans definitely feel like the DC was pushing them as like hey, this is the book to read as the main book, and it's really cool to see them not try to do anything too big and go more of like, hey, how are all these kids going to fill these shoes? Because that is a lot of responsibility to do for these kids who, you know, which I think it's been a good year of Titans, and I'm ready for the Justice League to come back next year and to see that dynamic happen, because they definitely are. They're bringing them back next year. They've been teasing it, and I think we got our own 52 this year, where we got a good year of like, no Justice League, cool books, you know. So yeah, I'm excited. This is like I said, this has been a very fun book. I like the team that Waid has. It's a great team. Look, Declan, Bumblebee's there. There she is. Get excited.
I don't know if he's still here, but like he's
gone. He definitely tapped out to go play League. Anyway, next book. Of course.
Oh, fuck.
King Dick riding still, baby. Guess what?
Seamus out here meat glazing.
I'm glazing, but I'm glazing for the right reasons and for the right man.
Here's the thing, right? I known about this book ever since like Sal's been telling people to read it, because apparently no one read it, and I downloaded all the books from Comixology so I could prep for this podcast. I knew I was gonna like it. I didn't get a chance to read them. I was very upset.
I'm extremely excited for you to experience this, because you're gonna be
it's amazing.
You're gonna be like this is the best thing I could ask for from a Gotham City year one. It is so
Because like it's Slam Bradley. Who doesn't love Slam Bradley? Like it's just
it's such a good exploration of like why Gotham needs a Batman. You know, why they can't just rely on the police department just being better, and why the police department can't just be better. Why it needs a Batman who operates outside to really save it. And that's why it's so interesting, because you get to see from the point of view of these police officers, these characters that Batman is able to take down with ease. They're like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like when you make Riddler a character that's like, we can't beat this dude. It's like, you know what I mean? Because it's a bunch of beat cops who are trying to solve these high like IQ riddles, and they're like, fuck, I just watched my partner get sawed in half because he didn't know what the fuck the answer to like a riddle was, and they're like all freaking out, whereas Batman would just be like, the answer is silence, you fuckhead, and then just punch him in the face. These cops are like, shit.
That's an interesting take on that. Like,
and that's why it's so
city needs a Batman. Okay.
Yeah, it's why it's so interesting too, because like they're also like, hey, even if they are good cops, they get drowned out by all the corrupt cops who silence them out of fear, and it's like, this is so good. And by the end of it, you're like, damn, I need Batman. I need to read a Batman book right now,
bro.
Which is like, it's so good. Again, Tom King glazing till the day I die.
Listen, that's why we're having a podcast. People read it, like, because I heard apparently like no one read this book, like, which
I know, and it's so sad. And I get it, because like Gotham City Year One, you're already like, no Batman, and then on the cover there's no like bombastic comic characters that you're used to. You know what I mean? But it's good. It goes hard on its own merits, which I think is more of an accomplishment than some of these other books, just because it was good for something that had nothing, you know what I mean? No Batman in it.
I gotcha.
Anyway, continuing. Of course, blazing to the day I die.
Here's the thing, right? Okay, this would have been on my list, but I was just like, I didn't want to add it because it just ended this year. You know what I mean?
No, I'm using every chance I get. There was like 2 issues released this year, and guess what? They were my 2 favorite issues. They were my 2 favorite issues because they wrapped up the entire mystery. That's why I counted this year, because I was like, there were some comics that ended this year or started this year that I was like, not enough of the story is out, or some of them ended and I was like, But this one had like the 2 most pivotal issues out this year, so I'm like, I'm gonna count it, because like, if you got it, those issues on their own are worth the best of the year. Because
like here's the thing, right? Like I know sometimes I shoot out like, oh, it's one of the best comics I ever read, but like, no, with Human Target, this is legitimately one of the best comic books I've ever read. Like it's
so good.
The whole storytelling with it, but it's like, I'm not really a Human Target fan, so like this is kind of like, you know, it's made me love the character of Christopher Chance a lot more. The fact that like it's very stylized and it's very like, you know, in my admiration of like film noir and pop and pulp sort of fiction, stuff like that. Greg Smallwood, who I'm a huge fan of because of Jeff Lemire's run of Moon Knight. He does the best artwork of his career.
It's so good. It's so stylized. That Batman issue was so well done. I think that was my favorite.
That was my favorite issue.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even know if I can call it my favorite use of Batman, because like, but yeah, my favorite use of Batman, because like the whole point of that issue is so well done, and then the whole way the mystery wraps up. That it's focused on fire and ice and everything, and fucking Guy Gardner. Everyone was so pissed that they were like, dude, that whole discourse where they were like, they ruined Guy Gardner's character, and I was always like, by writing him like Guy Gardner, like, yeah, dude, he's always been a dick. The fuck,
yeah. If you weren't aware, being an asshole is a part of Guy Gardner's character since day one.
Exactly, and I'm like.
Bro, the way they use the Justice League, it's like they're acknowledging JLAI, like, you know,
the whole book is based off like you kind of have to have at least known about JLI and the character interactions of the JLI to really like have fun with this book.
It was so good, and like it was so good, and the way the story came full circle was so amazing.
And I thought they were gonna. I was like. I had doubts. My faith in Tom King was shaken for a minute, because I was is he gonna cop out of this? Is he gonna have a cop out on this with the ending? Because like the whole thing of the book, and then it gets closer to the end, and you're like, is he gonna like dodge this somehow, or is he gonna? And then it just doesn't happen, and then the book continues, and then you're like, wow, yes, he made the good choice.
I'm waiting them to make a complete collection of it because I'm buying it immediately.
I'm buying that immediately. It's hanging up on my fucking shelf. I'm showing it to all my family members and
You're
friends.
gonna get it. You're gonna buy 2 copies. The one copy you're gonna have it encased in resin, and then
and then the other copy, and then I'm gonna have 5 other copies on my coffee table, and that's the only thing people are gonna be able to look through when they're sitting in my house. Anyway, please read this. Please buy this.
It's so good.
Please, we need more Tom King books, please. Tom King, please.
I love how it zooms in. Please do it.
All right, next book, baby.
All right.
Alan Scott Green Lantern.
I heard this book was good. I did not get a chance to read it.
This book is short, 3 issues. It's gas.
It's 3 issues.
So good. It's 3 issues, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like 5. Yeah,
It could be 5. Is it 5? I don't know. Dude, I read it in like quick form. It might have been. There was a whole week, by the way, where I was reading books out the ass, but I'm pretty sure there's only 3 issues.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, that shit. 3 issues of good shit. 3 issues of good shit. I absolutely love the way they handle it. It made me give a shit about Alan Scott because I've never really historically been like a big Alan Scott guy. You know, respect the character, but like not a big. But this like delved into the interpersonal relationships. It really had a really fun use of him and his powers, and like they kept the differentiating of like, yeah, he's Green Lantern, but like he's a different Green Lantern. You know what I mean? All that shit with the wood. They kept all that. I'm like, yeah, good. The whole exploration of his sexuality was so well done, and his relationships are so emotional. For 3 issues, it was so good. It was maybe like one of my most surprising books this year of how much I truly liked it, because I was just jumping into this going like, this might be good. I saw the creator online going like, hey, please read my book, and I was like, oh, he seems like a nice guy, I'll check it out. And then I was really surprised about how good this was. But yes, please check this out. Very good.
All right, I will definitely check it out then.
Again, the art also insane. I loved it. Next book, real quick. Avengers Inc.
I
pour one out for my boy.
I didn't know this book existed until I saw Sal talk about it, and like Sal and Ernie were talking about it from Blur Without Fear. Because the fact like this book got canceled before it even got a chance to get finished.
Yep. I was with Declan. I read the first 2 issues in front of Declan, and I turned to him and I was like, holy shit. I care about the Ant-Man and the Wasp corner of the Marvel Universe. I was like, holy shit, this is so good. And then as soon as those words left my mouth, notification came up on my phone. Avengers Inc. fucking canceled after like 5 issues. And I was like, fuck. This led to a much bigger discussion with me and Declan about the impact of Al Ewing as a writer. He was like, Al Ewing hasn't had the impact of Jonathan Hickman and Bendis, and I was like, Exhibit A, why? They cancel all his fucking books so early, and they don't give him a chance to write any bigger books. The fuck? Avengers. It was such. I get it. It's such a niche like interest even among comic fans, but like. It was so interesting if you gave it a shot. It was so interesting to see Hank Pym come back and be like, is he a villain or is he just like the antagonist of the series? Like, what are we going to learn more about him? The whole buddy cop angle with Vision and everything, and Vision coming back, and like Vision's alter ego inhabiting the body of this dude, and like Janet like working. Being tasked by Luke Cage to work outside of like regular superhero jurisdiction because of other events. It was just so well done, and I was so sad that this got canceled so early because it was so good. But like, please read the 5 issues that there are out because they were really good.
I mean, probably like Al Ewing will probably maybe like tie things up in another book. They give him a chance to do.
Yeah, I'm praying Immortal Thor just has a backup that's Avengers Inc.
Yeah, you just do that. Just do
and the last 2 pages are just the rest of this book. That'd be so funny.
Lord Without Fear did a video, a whole podcast. We're talking about like things that like comic book companies the big two have to stop doing, and they said this one was based pretty much like for Marvel, stop canceling Marvel and DC, but stop canceling books and like books for out of nowhere and let them like actually get a chance to finish. You know?
Yeah, especially books that like have a mystery at the core of their conceit. You know what I mean? Like this book had a mystery at the center of it. You know what I mean? So like maybe let the book get 10 issues in so you can actually kind of see where it's going before you cancel it, instead of going like, hey, we just had the setup for the mystery and now the book's over. And you're like, well, what the fuck is that? Like, I don't know. It's frustrating, certainly, but please read it. It was good while it lasted. I'm glad I checked it out. Anyway, next book, Wonder Woman. Tom King glazing again. I'm back at it, baby. I'm never going to stop. That's the thing, though. I keep glazing because, like, all this shit was really good. His Wonder Woman is really good. He's understood the character maybe the most in the past couple of years than some of the other writers who have had Wonder Woman, certainly. Like, there hasn't been that many issues out yet, but again, in the small, it's like Immortal Thor. In the small issues that there have been out, I have been so enthralled with the way Tom King is handling Wonder Woman. Yeah, it's just, it's some of my favorite Wonder Woman since, like, I don't know, like Greg Rucka probably.
Shit.
It's that good. It's like that good of Wonder Woman. You know, I know people hold Greg Rucka's Wonder Woman in like high regard.
That's
rightfully so. It's a great run. But Tom King so far is getting up there. He gets it. He's not like other writers who just are like, I don't know. I don't get Wonder Woman, but I'm writing her. He's like, no, I understand who she is. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
I get her.
Every year I am proven more and more right that Tom King just had a bad go of Batman. And I'm so proud of it. I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm so glad he's...
It's a funny story because like a few days ago I was trying to figure out Moose is in the chat being like Spider-Boy.
Spider-Boy. I didn't get a chance to read Spider-Boy. I read that one issue of Spider-Boy, and it was just such a nothing thing that I was just like,
I didn't even bother reading it.
I'm not doing this.
I didn't even bother reading it.
I know. Listen, God, again, it's another Zebwell situation. God bless Dan Slott. We are fellow Doctor Who fans. We're fellow Spider-Man fans. Dan Slott is a wonderful man. I do not give a shit about Spider-Boy or the Superior Spider-Man comeback. He baited me, and I'm mad about that.
Ooh. The thing is, like with Wonder Woman, it was a funny story because I was looking for like worst books of this year because I couldn't figure it out, and I was in chat with Christian and Rebecca. And Rebecca was like, "Hey, I'll look some up for you," and she told me that one that like there weren't a lot of like articles about the worst comic books of the year, and even on Reddit, no one was really talking about their worst comic books of 2023. I guess because it was that good of a year, right? But then there was a video. He said worst comic books of the year, and one of the books that she listed that was part of the video on YouTube was Wonder Woman, and I was like, wait a minute, what's the YouTube channel called? And it's like Thinking Critical. Like turn off.
That's so funny. No, that's so good.
Because from everyone, like Benny, Sal, like Eth, like Ernie, like Rob, like everyone, like even some of the smaller channels like freaking Comics Lounge or cartoonists, like they all are saying that like Wonder Woman is a banger. And I was just like, you know what? Like,
that's such a good twist ending, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. Yeah. Please read this. It's very good.
I will read it actually because I heard it's phenomenal.
We must talk about this. I like that. Also, the art for Wonder Woman, they're making her jacked again.
Who's the artist on it?
It's so fucking hot. Let me look. I can't fucking look it up again.
Yeah, I'm curious because I saw the artwork for it, like the interiors, and it's like it looked really good. So
Daniel Sampere.
I have no idea who they are, but I'll check it out.
Listen, he knows how to draw a muscly woman.
People forget.
They're making I've been saying make Wonder Woman jacked again, and by God, they listen.
That's how I prefer to draw Wonder Woman. Just make her ripped.
Yeah, anyway, God bless ripped Wonder Woman and Tom King again. I think that's it for the. I'm gonna take a. No, it's not it for Tom King Glazing. There's one more, but that's at the end. So you get a break from Tom King Glazing before I get to the end. All right. Anyway, next book is Radiant Black. Yeah, I put it on here. I feel like this year, yeah, get up and walk around, Mikey. I think it.
I feel like James McAvoy and freaking Split Up is like rejoice, rejoice.
This book. Listen,
Was I right or was I right?
You were right. Like the past 2 years, you've been telling me to get into this book, and I read like the first 5 issues, and I was like, eh. And then this year, I was just like, yeah, I'll keep going, and then no matter, I'm gonna get to whatever the most recently published issue is, and if I really don't like it, then I'll tell Mikey, and he'll be like, fuck you. And then I got to the most recently published issue, and I was like, I think this was like in like fucking April or May, and I was like, fuck. And then since then, I've been on the Radiant Black train. I asked you, Mikey. We both voted.
Yeah,
do your part. Yeah. You got to vote who Radiant Black should be.
I thought you were pranking me. I was like, there's no way he actually read it.
Yeah, I voted for Marshall. I'm a real one.
Because that was my favorite book of 2022 when we did the podcast last time with Radiant Black. So I was like, you shout on it, and I was like, listen, man, once you read it, I'm telling you.
Because I was like, I don't know about it. I was apprehensive, and I was proven wrong, and I was happily to be proven wrong.
Great.
Because this book is, at least this year, popped the fuck off, and I loved it.
That's true. I mean, Radiant Black is just it's been a great ride so far. I don't want it to end either. Like, it's just the characters are great. It's just fun. Like, if you love Invincible, which we both do, and there's some Invincible. Kirkman said if you miss Invincible, read Radiant Black, and it's just like, and if you like Power Rangers stuff, but like it's just like it's like the fact that like Kyle Higgins is making a superhero universe based off of tokusatsu stuff. It's working, and it's great.
It's so good.
Have you read any of like the spin-off stuff?
Yeah. I read Radiant Pink. I fucked with that.
Radiant Red is awesome.
Yeah, no, I heard Radiant Red was probably the best of them, but that was next on my list. But I'm excited to get into it because it's been so good.
Yeah, no,
I'm excited to see. I'm really hyped to see that. The how the vote goes in the arc, because I'm interested how he's doing the split timeline kind of deal. And
that's the thing, right? Like when that vote happened, and I was like, when Marshall was revealed to be the possessor of Radiant Black, I was like, damn, because I didn't vote for Marshall, I voted for Nathan. But like I was also happy. Like, part of me is like, it's dragging a little bit because he's splitting it in half, like between every week. But like, I'm so happy because like I get to still see what would happen if Nathan was Radiant Black, and I'm just like, that's I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. But yeah,
I prefer that than just going like, oh, sorry, fuck you.
Yeah,
sorry, fuck you, everyone who voted Nathan. He's like, no, you get your arc, and then we'll go back to our regularly scheduled Marshall arc where Nathan will.
And they're gonna converge. I think he said that it's gonna converge in some way. So I'm curious how that's gonna play out.
Anyway, but it's a very interesting way of doing like a vote for storytelling purposes, and I think that's why it's also one of the best books, because it's just doing new shit that you don't really see normally, and I think that's also alone is worth checking out.
I wanted to ask, I forget which issue it was, but you know that issue where they're doing the Radiant Black movie? Did you scan the QR code and actually see what?
No.
Oh, dude. So there's an issue where it's pretty much the character Radiant Black going on the set of like the Radiant Black movie and talk about how like Marshall's like, yeah, if I wanted anyone to play Radiant Black, I want to be like Will Friedle, who's like from Boy Meets World, Batman Beyond. So, and there's a poster that like has a QR code. You scan the QR code, it takes you to the Kyle Higgins YouTube channel where they actually made a short animation of the set of the scene that they were filming of the guy from Cal and then Radiant Black fighting each other. And it's Will Friedle voicing Radiant Black, and it's amazing.
That's so good.
I'll
go back and check that out. That's hilarious.
I'll send you the link to it. It's so good.
Dude,
I want a Radiant Black animated series so bad with Will Friedle is voicing Marshall.
Oh shit. They should. That would make so much fucking money, dude.
Oh,
that would be on the level of Invincible if they did Radiant Black, because it's just inherently like a flashy, like property to adapt.
Oh,
look at that fucking cover. Dude, tell me that isn't the most Dragon Ball Z shit you've ever seen.
Especially like that arc where they're trying to figure out how to who was gonna win, like when they're both in existence, is so good. It's such Dragon Ball Z shit. You're right.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. All right. So we're probably gonna talk about more Radiant Black book, but moving on to the next book.
Moving on. I'll put it on here.
Yeah.
Listen.
It's great.
I am not a Transformers fan. I don't care about Transformers at all normally.
Oh, okay.
I grew up with Transformers. I like Transformers. I'm not like a ride or die, like enough to read the comics. I know people have been pushing me to read the IDW run and all that.
Hey, shout out to IDW run because you on our channel, read the whole book.
Exactly. You can guess who's been pushing me to read that because they're on this fucking channel. But I heard there was this reboot. I like Daniel Warren Johnson, of course, with Kirkman involved. I like all those people who are involved, and I was like, I like Do a Powerbomb and that same creative team's on this. And lo and behold, this shit was good. This shit made me a real big Transformers fan. Like I'm actually I care about the franchise now. Because like beforehand, I was like, yeah, I fucking like the thing I loved most from Transformers was like the Cybertron games. That was it. That was it. I didn't really care about anything else. But now I care about this comic series because there's not that many issues out, but god damn have they been good.
Dude, it's been great. I mean, I'm kind of the opposite. Like I'm not like a huge Transformers fan, but I like the characters. I mean, we grew up in the era where we were watching those Michael Bay movies as children.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to like not watch a Transformers.
Yeah, and there are some cartoons that I love. Like Transformers Animated is my favorite Transformers cartoon of all time. I love that show a lot. Has the best intro ever. Then Rebecca got us onto the comics that was our first series on this channel, and it was a lot of fun. It was a surprise. I understood why people loved it so much, and listen, I'm a Daniel Warren Johnson fan, dude. Beta Ray Bill, Wonder Woman, Dead Earth. Like what? Like the moment they said that, like Do a Powerbomb. Once Do a Powerbomb came out, we talked about how that was one of our favorite books of 2022. We're just like, bro, like Daniel Warren Johnson. I'm expecting to see I want to see Optimus Prime suplex Megatron for no reason. I can't
exactly.
and it looks so. I mean, granted, yeah, it is still pretty early, but so far it's been fun, and it's kind of like it's what everyone likes about like the original like G1 and like the original animated series, but like a cool like modernized like twist version of that. I think it's working a lot, and I like it. I like it a lot. It's really good.
Good shit. Good shit.
All right, next one. If you have a next
one. X-Men.
Why am I not surprised? The man has been shoving X-Men down my throat for the past like 2 years.
Once again, my faith was shaken when Hickman was announced to be leaving.
I was like, Rebecca's in the comments, be like, "We got another one, boys."
Listen, you got me. Fuck. But my faith was shaken when they were like, "Yeah, Hickman's leaving to go to Substack," and I was like, "Fuck."
We know how, and we know how Substack turned out.
And then guess what? My boys Kieran Gillen and Jerry Duggan fucking put this franchise on their backs, and they have fucking. They have made this.
Hellfire Gala this year was amazing. I heard it was really good.
It's been so good. It's continued the quality that I would expect from Hickman, and I was like, I've been so happy to have been like, just like I feel like I'm in safe hands with these guys. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, wow, these guys definitely have like a story that they are building towards. That even without Hickman, they're like, no, we can do this shit, and I'm like, they fucking can, because every book that has come out from the Krakoa era so far has been at the very least, good, which I can't really say about other like big X-Men reboots. You know what I mean? But Hellfire Gala was great this year. right now. Like I literally got it right fucking next to me right here. I picked this up yesterday because I think that this era's ending is going to be pretty fucking good, and I'm excited to see where they go in the new era. But
it just sucks because like I haven't been reading any of it because it's just
you're gonna have such a listen. But that's the thing is you're gonna have such a good time when you're catching back up with it and you're reading through all these series because they all flow together so well and so consistently in a way that you're just like feels natural.
Like the last thing I read was like the early stuff, but I was reading like House of X, and I was reading Marauders, and I was reading Excalibur, and like that was pretty much it.
When you
I loved them, but I just didn't continue.
Yeah, when you go back through it, it's gonna feel very Game of Thronesy the way that you're following all these different factions who are all like fighting over Krakoa and stuff, and you're gonna be like, "Fuck yeah, this is." It makes you interested to check out those spin-off books to see what the other side is planning or what these side characters are like scheming and shit. Yeah, I think it has been really strong this year. I think a lot of the direction from a lot of the characters has been super strong, and I'm excited to see where it goes at the ending this year. Yeah, it was fucking great. Also, big shout out. Finally, Emma Frost has a relationship that works, and it's with fucking Tony Stark.
Right?
And guess what? That shit has been so good for no reason. No reason why.
The moment I heard that like they were together, I was like, "How? This makes no sense to me. How's
right?
this gonna work?"
I heard
it was really good.
That doesn't make sense. And then I'm reading that the Iron Man solo with her in it, and I'm like, "Fuck, this is really good. Why is this really good? This should not be really good. This should just be like one of those relationships that you mention in passing that you're like, oh, remember when Spider-Man went on a date with Miss Marvel? When said this is some shit that I'm like, I would be happy if this stayed." Wow. But yeah, read X-Men. I'm also gonna give a shout out. I totally forgot to put it in there. This bad Larry, Uncanny Spider-Man.
You didn't put it in there?
I did. I slipped my mind at the end. I was doing this in such a quick thing, but this is definitely one of my favorites. Only 5 issues. Nightcrawler as Spider-Man. I fucking again another relationship that shouldn't work. Nightcrawler and Silver Sable. Oh, and guess what happens at the end of this book, Mikey? They stay together.
I'm gonna stop right there because we're gonna get to that.
It's so good. I'll let you talk about the big reveal from this comic, but yeah, I'm excited about that shit too. Anyway, next book.
I didn't read this book. Oh Lord,
dude, you should have.
Wes Craig fan.
You should have. Wes Craig. Listen, yeah, because I heard the hype around it, and I was like, "Ooh."
But I've heard it's been great.
This is
really good.
I'm here to inform you, Mikey. This shit is great.
I mean, it's Wes Craig. Well, that's the thing. Like, I know Wes Craig is an amazing artist from Deadly Class, but like, I'm not sure. I mean, this is like his writing debut, I think.
Yeah.
So
I listen. That's why I think I was the most surprised by it, because I was like, oh, of course I'm gonna love the art, Wes Craig. Yeah. But he's writing. He hasn't really written anything, and so far I think he's as good of a writer as he is an artist. It's so good.
That's good to hear.
So interesting. I will be very brief because I feel like you should. I'm gonna let you experience this for yourself. Yeah. Trust me, very fucking good. Very fucking good.
All right. I will check it out for sure.
And the grand finale. We still glazing on this channel. We still glazing on this fucking channel.
I'm King Glazing.
I picked this one up because I'm a glazer. I didn't hear anything about it. I saw Tom King's name. It looked like a rom-com. And I was like, fuck yeah, we're hopping on the train. And guess what? He threw me for a fucking loop because it was not at all what I was expecting.
Wow.
All I will say is you can't expect anything for this. It is an insane kind of love story following this woman who's maybe stuck in an everlasting love, and maybe her path to getting out of an everlasting love. But I would say pick this one up. It's very interesting. It is a kind of exploratory mystery, kind of like a Nice House on the Lake with maybe more of a rom-com vibe, where it is more of like a let's slowly figure out what's going on here and maybe how to escape whatever is going on here type deal. But yes, I would say, again, Tom King book, knocking it out of the fucking park. fucking please check it out.
Alrighty. Yeah, I will add to the list for sure.
One more. Another one I totally forgot. Slipped my mind. New Burn. Chip Zdarsky.
Oh,
The police procedural following a fixer and the kind of many adventures he goes on. That again, that was one that I was just like, wow, Chip Zdarsky police procedural. Who cares? You know what I mean?
yeah,
I love Chip. I love his books this year, but that was one that I heard the premise of and I was like, eh. And then again, one day I checked it out on a whim and it fucking hooked me. Because of course Chip Zdarsky knows how to write a thriller.
Yo, yeah, for sure. No, I saw it, but I didn't get a chance to pick it up. So
yeah, that's one that I check out because that's also a very good one.
Because that book that I have to read, and then Stillwater that I have to read.
Stillwater too. Stillwater was good this year. I wasn't one of my favorites of this year, but it was very good. It was worth checking out.
Is that it? Seamus? Is just Love Everlasting the last one?
Those are my books.
All right.
Love Everlasting.
I was surprised. I thought you were gonna at least say like Chip Zdarsky's Batman. I was surprised that wasn't on your list at all.
Listen, I have been apprehensive about that. I like it. I fuck with it, but I'm also still waiting to see where it goes because I don't. There's still like an air of apprehension around that book for me. Every arc I'm like I like this arc, but there's something weird about it. I'm interested to see where and also it's kind of been derailed by the whole like Batman Catwoman like gang war, like Gotham War arc. Like, because that just completely threw the book off for some event that I'm just like, you're just pinning Batman, and it just didn't make any sense. It was, again, like a Civil War type deal where you're like, Batman, you are making no fucking sense, and you're obviously wrong here. Why are you being a dick about it? Yeah, I don't know. That's been like maybe his weakest book this year, but even then, it still has some good moments. So, yeah.
I got you. Alrighty, so that's it for Seamus. So yeah, people, now it's about that time where we go through my best books. The thing is, yours you just didn't have any particular order. Mine does, and
nice.
I think it was hard because I tried to make it because I have honorable mentions and I tried to make a top 10, but I couldn't have the urge to cut books out. So I had to put them all on there. I just because they were all so good. I couldn't bear to take them off. But
that's why I didn't have an order because I'm like, all these books are so good that if you the order doesn't matter. If you just picked one and checked it out, you would be like, fuck yeah, I fucking love comics.
Yeah, I gotcha. But was this like Jacob Elordi as Radiant Black live action?
Dude, that was fucking suck. Him as Nathan. Oh.
It's terrible.
Him as Marshall?
Him as Marshall? Dude, I can't. Because you gotta have a funny act. You have to have an actor who can do like you have to have an actor who can do really good comedy or do Marshall.
You give Jacob Elordi Nathan and Barry Keoghan Marshall.
I don't want to see that. I really don't. All right, so for me, we're gonna do just honorable mentions first. And also people, I feel like some of these on my list, like there's gonna be like 2 books. Well, there's gonna be a few books on my list that may trigger you, Seamus, because
I already fully know Big Game's gonna be on here, and I'm gonna say go fuck yourself when it comes up, and then I'm not gonna say anything else about it because.
All right, so my first honorable mention, and I'm gonna breeze through these pretty quick, but the first one, and these are books that like. Either I started reading and just didn't continue, or didn't continue yet, or I'm still trying to figure out I'm testing the waters with them, or books that I really liked that I liked, but they just weren't big enough to be on like my best books of the year. But yeah, for my number one, my first honorable mention is Speed Force by Jarrett Williams and Danielle Di Niculio. I thought this book was pretty fun. I only read the first 2 issues, but I was like, this is a fun book. It's just Wallace West and Avery Ho, just being a nice little duo, and it's just like I thought it was really fun. And the villain is like music. I think it's like Music Maestro or something like that. Oh, it was really fun. The artwork is like it's pretty fun. It's very cartoony, but very energetic with like the speed stuff. The best part about it was they acknowledged my boys Masi Menos are in the book.
I saw that, and I was like,
Must Menos, who are like known for being in Teen Titans cartoon. And yeah, it's just pretty fun. It's just like a nice, cool little like dynamic duo speedster book, and it's with teen speedsters, and it's really fun. I thought it was a nice little book. The next one is Army of Darkness Forever by Tom Fleeks and Justin Greenwood from Dynamite. And as everyone knows, I'm not a fan of Dynamite Comics. I don't really like that company, but I will gladly take their checks. But it's as of recently, me and Rebecca, we did the Army of Darkness comic 1979 by Rodney Barnes, and it was that was a really fun book, and I'm kind of trying to like lean into more of the Army of Darkness stuff because I'm a big Evil Dead fan as of recently, and yeah, this book so far it's only like 3 issues, but like I don't know where it's going, but it's a cool. I'm liking the premise of it. It's pretty much just like that alternate ending of Army of Darkness, where what if Ash woke up like 200 years woke up? It's like he woke up too late and slept for like 200 years, and like the Kandarian demon like took over the world and stuff. So it's basically they're doing that deleted scene from Army of Darkness and like making that into like this. That's what this is, and it's cool. And they're doing a really cool thing with like Evil Ash, which is like it's actually like really fun. I don't want to spoil it just because like it's a really cool twist with Evil Ash. But I think it's if you like Army of Darkness, you'll like this book. If you like Evil Dead, you'll like this book. And Tom Fleeks does a good job of like, you know, getting the humor down like from Army of Darkness and like doing all that stuff, but like introducing like kind of like this post-apocalyptic future, and they're like robots are involved. It's just wacky Army of Darkness shit, and I like it. All right, so the next honorable mention is Shazam by Mark Waid and Dan Mora. I dropped off of this book just because I was reading a lot of other stuff, so I just took a pause on it. So I only read like the first like 2-ish. I think I was on issue either 2 or 3, but I was loving it. Like it was just like Mark Waid, yeah, giving like bringing back like it's pretty like pre-New 52 Shazam, like pre-New 52 Captain Marvel, but incorporating that into like this new era of like Shazam. It's so good, dude. I was like the fact that like, you know, they're acknowledging, well, first off, they don't call him Shazam, they call him the Captain because Captain Marvel, and they can't use Captain Marvel obviously, but like they call him the Captain and it works. The stuff that they're doing with, you know, the Shazam the Captain Marvel family, the Shazam family, and how like, because right now, well, from when this book started, because I haven't really been reading any Shazam. I didn't read the Jeff Johns run that came out prior to this one, during DC Rebirth. But like, yeah, like only Billy, Mary, and Freddy are the only ones that. Oh no, I think only Billy and Mary are the only ones that like have the powers right now. And Mary has a different set of gods because she had her own miniseries prior to that. So like it was just like, you know, it's just going back to like, you know, just Billy being quote unquote the captain, and also just like, you know, and also exploring more of like, you know, the gods that he's affiliated with and like how they might be more damaging to him than actually like good in terms of like his superhero role. Have you read it, Seamus? It's really good.
Yes.
I love it.
I was about to say this definitely would have been on my list if I had also stuck with it, because I did the same thing as you. I read the first 2 issues. I really liked it, but it was just one of those ones that like you said, I got caught up in so many other books that I just fell off. But from what I've heard and from what I read, this definitely would have made the list if I actually like read more of it and caught up with it.
Yeah, like it's really like if you like the old Captain Marvel stuff and you like kind of like the aesthetics of like the New 52 post New 52 Captain Marvel, and they just combine it together, it just works. Like Mark Waid obviously is a fan of the old Captain Marvel stuff, so he's incorporating a lot of like a ton of Tigers are part of it. Like Billy used to have a radio show, I guess, back in the day, but now it's a podcast where he talks about the exploits of like the Captain and all that stuff. It's so fun. It's just a fun book. But yeah, I just have to pick it up again. I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
I'll probably catch back up with it this week, honestly.
Yeah. And also Dan Mora fucking kills the artwork. He kills it.
We've been glazing Tom King and Dan Mora all for a podcast, and deservedly so.
But yeah, so my next one is the recent Daredevil run by Saladin Ahmed and Aaron Kruger from Marvel. Again, we talked about how much we love Zdarsky's Daredevil, but this new series again was the transition from that series to this one has been seamless. But and it has been good. I have been liking it, but there's something about it yet that I'm just like, hasn't like really grabbed me,
Yeah, it's like there hasn't been like a click yet. Then I'm like, okay, yeah, it's just been like.
Besides I love the fact that like they made Matt a priest, which makes sense with the character. Like, makes sense for Matt Murdock to be a priest, his Catholic guilt and all that jazz. The fact that he's they're doing more of like, hey, like, so they're getting some supernatural stuff with Daredevil. Let's explore that even further and have him be an exorcist and have a lot of the people that he cares about being possessed by these demons that are like taunting him for no reason, like for some mysterious reason, and that kind of like is involved in like the reason why he came back to life, and got the second chance. I think that it's good. And like, seeing like Daredevil, like, especially when like he comes back and becomes Daredevil again, is so awesome. I just think, and like, we get introduced to like the Heat, which is like that other gang in Hell's Kitchen. It's cool. It's good so far. I think the last issue was with Bullseye, and I love that issue.
I like how Elektra's also sticking around too. That's very fun.
Yeah, she's sticking around too. She's not in the book a lot, but
she's there though, which is what's important.
Yeah,
because a lot of writers would just be like, I like to see it.
Yeah, exactly. So far it's good, but like it hasn't really clicked with me yet. The next one is, I only read the first issue, but I only read the first issue. I thought it was a really cool concept, and the artwork and the writing from that issue was really good. But again, I have to read more of it. It's The Call by Kelly Thompson and Madia de Ilias. I don't know what's that. I'm gonna whatever. But it's this book so far. I only read the first issue. I thought it was really interesting, and it kind of has a kind of Stranger Things type of vibe to it. And so far, like I don't know where it's going because I only read the first issue, but I feel like there's gonna be a twist with it once I read like issue like 2 or 3. But so far, I think it's really good. Have you checked out this book at all?
Not at all. I heard about it, but I haven't seen anything of it or from it.
Yeah.
So, if it's on, I might check it out now that it's on your honorable mention. So
yeah, I just gotta read more of it. And he says, we got someone who said comments with Bueller said I enjoyed the first issue, also not bad. Yeah, it was solid. Like it was a really interesting concept. But granted, like I feel like they're gonna get more of a sense of what the book is about in the following, because it's like 5 issues out, I think. But yeah, and also Musa is saying that like the DD looks sick. Yes, that artwork that I have for that Daredevil was awesome. And it's one of my favorite pages in the whole series. But yeah, The Call, Image Comics, Kelly Thompson. So far, I'm really liking it, and I was digging it the first issue. So I'm gonna read the rest of it sometime sometime soon. The next one, okay, this is when you're about to get triggered. But the next one, this book. I was surprised that I didn't expect to like it because I thought it was going to be bad.
Fuck you. No. I feel like, no, you totally expected to love this.
I mean, it was one of my books I was looking forward to from my list last year. My list like we did for the last podcast we did. But but my other honorable mention, I think it's my last one. The second to last one, is Nemesis Reloaded by Mark Millar and Jorge Jimenez. First off, I'm a huge Jorge Jimenez fan. He's an amazing artist.
I know. That's like the only part of this book that I thoroughly enjoyed was I was like.
But here's the thing, right? If you read the first series of Nemesis, that book is not that good, and I feel like Millar knew that he knew that if he was going to bring it back, he had to change some stuff around. So the new origin he gave Nemesis worked so well, and this book was just insane. To the point where I was like, it was entertaining. Artwork's really good. They fixed a lot of stuff with the character that didn't work in the last series, and plus how it tied into like big game and all that stuff. I thought it was fun. I was like, I was enjoying it. So yeah, Nemesis Reloaded was a good time. It was on my recommended that I did on the YouTube Shorts on this channel. Like I did that like sometime last year too. But yeah, I thought it was good. I liked it, but again, a lot of these other books, it wasn't as good as some of the other books on my best list. And the last honorable mention that I have is Nita Hawes' Nightmare Blog, written by Rodney Barnes, with layouts by Jason Son Alexander, and art by Patrick Reynolds. So this is the spin-off series of Philadelphia, which Seamus, I recommend you do read alongside Philadelphia as well. because Nita ends up coming in later on in the recent arc that's happening right now. But dude, this book was really fun. It's really good, and it's basically just like, so Nita Hawes is pretty much it's because like this one takes place in Baltimore, and basically it's like, so like Philadelphia is more of like the vampire stuff with like other supernatural stuff mixed in. Nita Hawes is all like Lovecraft, like monsters, Cthulhu's type stuff. Like it's more of like the horror stuff, like the horrors and like the monsters type stuff, and it connects into Philadelphia seamlessly. Like, you'll see characters in Philadelphia, especially one character, which I'm not gonna tell you who it is, but he ends up crossing over to that book, and yeah, it's really good. And basically, it's like Nita Haw is a English professor at it's a known university in Baltimore, but she's an English professor. But then as a side hustle that she does, she opens a blog called the Nightmare Blog, where she kind of becomes like an amateur like paranormal investigator, and it's really good. And she has a tie to two of the main character of Philadelphia, which I will not say who it is, but it's this book is awesome. She actually, I'll say it, who cares, because it's gonna be mentioned pretty soon when you're reading. But Seamus, Nita is the ex-girlfriend of Jimmy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, it's I loved it. And again, Rodney Barnes with the writing and the world building, especially how it ties into Philadelphia, like to like the Killerverse, is so good.
I'm excited to read it.
Yeah, I think it's a mini series, so like or a maxi series. So I think it's done now. So I think it's all collected. So I mean, you could probably get it in trade, but it's really good, and the artwork is it's not as good as Jason Shawn Alexander's in Philadelphia, but it fits the tone of the series. It's a lot. Patty Reynolds has some pretty good body horror in this, and it's just like it's kind of wild. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are my honorable mentions, and we should. You want to get? Let's get into my best comics of 2020. So these are the books, and these are in a particular order.
Yeah, you have an order. I get it.
Yeah. So, these are the books that I was like, these are the bangers of the year. I thought these books were incredible. So my first number, I have 14 of them. So my 14th pick is Transformers. Transformers. We were talking about already, like Jenny Orange. The moment after reading More Than Meets the Eye, when we did that on the show on the channel, and I had a fun time with it. And huge fan of Skybound, love Kirkman. So the moment he was like, "Hey, yo, I got the rights for Transformers, and I'm gonna bring in Daniel Warren Johnson, who just had one of the best books of the year of Do a Powerbomb," like, I was on board immediately. This is the lowest on my list just because like it's only 3 issues out, and I feel like they still have more to set up. But so far, I've been loving it. It reminds me of like G1 Transformers or the initial series, but more of a modernized take of it. And I'm loving like the characters of like Sparky and is it Spark? I forget the wikis. I forget like the son and the. Oh yeah. Yeah, like it's Sparky and I forget and Spike. Sorry, like and Spike and shout out to Rebecca, because we were talking to Christian about it when we were in VC, and that one scene where like this pride realizes how fragile humanity is, and he crushes that dude. It's like, oh my gosh, what have I done? Like, it's just like that's how he like gets his like care for like humanity and like and Earth. I love that a lot. Starscream is also, as someone who's an avid Starscream hater, Starscream is great in this book. I still hate him, but like
I hate him, but like he's good. He's good.
Yeah. And who else? The other one, like, I think is it Cliff Jumper or is it Jetfire? The red one it's Cliff Jumper. Yeah, I think he's really fun and how he interacts with the humans. Like it's so far. I mean, they're still setting up a lot of stuff. So that's why it's on the low. It's the lowest. But I've been having a lot of fun. The artwork, Jenny Warren Johnson, Mike Spicer doing the colors, is so good. And like again, you're doing wrestling moves in there. Like I love it. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, Transformers. Read this shit. It's really good. The next book is actually it was be surprised because I feel like Seamus thought I would assume he thought it would be higher on my list, but it's not. But it is none other than Big Game by Mark Millar and art by Pepe Larraz. It's number 13. It's 13. And here's
I can't be too mad because it's 13.
It's 13.
Not top 10.
Because I gave it more. I mean, granted, I like this series. I really like it.
Did you have to put it low because of some of Mark Millar's recent comments?
That was part of it. But granted, like
yeah,
I will defend. I will avidly say I like all the stuff that came out before he said all that shit. So I will. So I'm not. I don't know if I'm gonna be reading his other stuff, but like we'll see. I would listen. I'm not glad he said that shit, but also I'm a Mark Millar. I've been a Mark Millar hater. I know. This book I loved it just because I grew up reading his indie stuff. Like I love his indie work, like Kick-Ass, Jupiter's Legacy, freaking crap, like all those series, like even his new ones, like Huck is really good, Nightclub is really good, like it's just like so all that world like Superior coming together into one crossover. Prodigy's amazing. Like I love that comic. So like it was just one huge crossover event. And the thing is, why it's a little lower? It's lower just because when you think about the whole thing, it kind of wasn't really something all that special. Like it was pretty much like involved like him killing everybody was wild because I didn't see that coming. But like the whole wrap up was like it was an expected wrap up. Like how that was gonna culminate together. But I thought the artwork was Pepe Larraz killed it. Like this is some.
Yeah, listen, I hate Mark Millar as a writer, but Pepe Larraz was. This book looks so gorgeous.
And also just for me personally, like him highlighting Hit Girl as as a big player in this, I love that a lot.
That definitely made me enjoy it a little more because again, like literally the only indie book of his I read was Nemesis and Kick-Ass. So that's why I was like, okay, he's making Nemesis and Kick-Ass characters are like the main points of this book. I can fuck with that.
It was literally like him highlighting Hit Girl, him showcasing more Hit Girl in the forefront, which was great. Him seeing Hit Girl and Eggsy together was awesome. I loved that like duo together. Him wrapping up Kick-Ass's arc, like I thought was Dave's arc. I was so happy. Like I was like, this is
nice.
Yes,
it was very nice.
That was so nice and so touching. Like Dave getting what he wanted to being a superhero, which I thought was amazing. And but like even like the fact that this book was a fucking Wanted sequel, and it was better than Wanted. I was like.
I was just like, all right, dude, come on.
Bro, no, I don't go. Bro, Wesley in this book was hard. I don't care what anyone says. Bro, it was kind of hard. I was like, this is... But like, listen, if you like Mark Millar's indie work, even, like, I really liked it. I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. And, yeah, I remind me, I have to read some of the stuff I didn't read, like I have to reread. I have to read like was it like Empress and like Starlight. I heard was really good. Like even though I read a good chunk of some of the other books, there's still characters I wasn't familiar with. So there's that. But yeah, Big Game. Opinions, criticisms of what all that bullshit aside. It came out before all that bullshit, so I would defend it.
It came out before all that bullshit.
So I liked it. Also, Magic Order. I have to read Magic Order because I hear Magic Order is awesome.
Yeah.
So, all right. So number, what am I? 13, 12. Number 12 is going to be, and this one, I thought it was gonna be a little bit higher, but I think about it more. And it's like, it's been a little slow, but that one issue that they had, and you'll know what I'm talking about, Seamus. It kind of bumped it up, but Firepower by Robert Kirkman and Chris Samney. Like this whole arc of the whole dragon like arc has been a bit slow for me, but the last 2 issues where the one where it's or last couple issues have been really strong, with especially with that issue where it's his Owen's son writing to their grandfather. That one broke me.
Yeah, that was good.
That was really good. And also now like the final fight with the twist where like the main enemy reveals to that one guy like where he actually gets his firepower, like where he gets firepower like source from, not like love and like empathy, but with fear, and how that like ties from him actually becoming like the final villain of the whole series. I thought was awesome. Like the last couple issues have been good, but like this arc in general has been a little bit slow. So I'm like, but it sucks because like this like the last issue is coming out I think either this month or next month, and it sucks because like I followed this series for so long now that I'm just like, damn, I don't want it to. I'm just mad that it's finishing at issue 30. But yeah, but so far I've been enjoying. I don't know, Shimmy, what are your thoughts on Firepower?
Yeah, this was one of those recommendations that I followed because of course when you recommend something, I'm like, I gotta at least check it out. And I think this book has consistently been good, but at least for me, it doesn't hit on the same level as like Kirkman's other stuff and other books this year hit. Not to say it's a bad book, but it's just something that I was just like, I kept up with, and I was just like, yeah, it's fun, it's good, I agree with you. I think it's been a little slow recently, but the last 2 issues certainly have been pretty good. And I'm interested to see where it ends, but I'm also like you, like, I could have wished I could have seen this gone a couple more issues, like maybe 10 to 20 more issues, and I would have been like, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. But Kirkman, if you are watching this, because you clearly are, make this into an adaptation and have Stephen Young play Owen, please. That would be great. But yeah, like Firepower, good. It's good series, and I'm just sad it's ending. But I'm loving. I like it. I love it a lot. Next series. And here's the thing, Seamus. I'll even tell you right now. It's another Mark Millar book, but this book was better than Big Game.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. It's better than Big Game. So
we're not gonna let you be doing Best Comics anymore if you're gonna be putting Mark Millar books on them.
Came up before all that bullshit, so I all right. That's my rule. So the next book number 11 is The Ambassadors by Mark Millar and various other artists, because each issue had a different artist. But
this also was a very massive part of Big Game.
It really was.
And I was like, I don't know what's going on because I didn't read this.
I mean, this book it's in terms of a production standpoint, it was very ballsy and ambitious and production wise, because it's basically the concept of the ambassadors. The main character, who is Dr. Chui Chung, who is like the smartest woman in the world, discovers the secrets of giving people superpowers, but decides, instead of just selling it to selling the secrets to the government, or like doing whatever, she wants to pick like 5 altruistic people from different backgrounds to become superheroes and represent their own country, to be a kind of like a world strike force. So the concept there was great. And then at the same time, you have each book focusing on a different ambassador that gets recruited, drawn by a different artist. So the first issue was Frank Quitely. Then you have an issue by Travis Charest, who again, Travis Charest is an amazing artist, like is a legend. And who, for fun fact, for people who don't know, Travis Charest is notoriously slow. Like he's not a fast artist. So the fact that Miller got him on board was great. Olivia Coipel did an issue. Matteo Scalera did an issue. Like the artwork and everything. And then generally, like, even though James, you said you're not really a fan of Mark Millar's writing, this is some of the best writing he did. Like he's done in a while. It was, and it sucks with all this bullshit, because it's like, bro, how are you not because it's a very diverse team. All these members have very interesting motivations that tie to their characters and why they want to be ambassadors. And it's just like, it's like it just makes no sense to me. Why?
That's what made me, when he made those comments, I was like, oh, so he's an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, all of this writing he's done where I've been like, this is some pretty fucking stupid writing. Mm-hmm. Now it all makes sense, because when he made those comments, it did not come across as, it came across as bigoted in the sense of like, he's just ignorant. Like, he's just an idiot, where he's just like, people are too focused on putting their own personal values in the characters instead of writing how they've historically been, and they're mishandling these characters by putting their own stuff. And it's like, dude, that is such a dog whistle way to be like, they're making these characters gay and non-white. Oh, you know, even though these characters evolve constantly, and that's the whole point of comics, is that they're always evolving. And it's just such like, it tracks, but it's also like, oh, come on, dude, you know.
But yeah,
I can totally understand how it's disappointing if you read a series that prides itself on the diversity of the cast and how each issue is different, and then he comes out and then is like, actually,
yeah,
if you're doing that to establish characters, that's really stupid.
But other than that, I do recommend people do read it. It's genuinely, it's pretty good, and it's like the concept's great, the team dynamic's great, because like the first 5 issues are just focused on each ambassador that gets recruited. The last issues with the culmination with them as a team and how they work together, and it's great. The only thing is that like I didn't think the villains were that interesting. Like the villains are kind of like cookie. The overarching villain was kind of cookie cutter, but other than that, I thought this was a really interesting concept and a really fun premise. And again, he got Travis Charest to do a book.
That's like a feat.
That is a feat. Like, you know. But yeah, and also like I'm curious to see after Big Game if he ever makes another book. I don't think he will. I think he said he's not gonna do a sequel to Ambassadors, but I want to see where Dave fits in all this, because he's now an ambassador now representing the United States. So I want to see how that works. But yeah, other than that, Ambassadors, good book, read it. Next one is one Seamus mentioned last minute, but we're gonna go in more in depth toward it now. But bruh, what a surprise! Uncanny Spider-Man. What a surprise. Like, is this, the fact that they were like, yo, let's just make Nightcrawler a Spider-Man adjacent character, because why not?
Because Nightcrawler was like, I need to go into hiding because we're getting genocided again. Peter, do you have an extra Spider-Man costume laying around? And Peter was like, yeah, man.
He's like, I could crawl walls too. Like, let's do this.
Crawling's in my name, dude.
Dude, this book was a surprise. I had so much fun reading it, and again, like seeing Kirkman being Spider-Man adjacent, doing his own thing, I thought was really fun. Even though he was a Spider-Man for the hobos, like he was just in Central Park helping out all the
he was mostly trying to help Mystique because she was going a little insane for a bit.
Yeah, man. Also, because again, I have not been reading that much Krakoa stuff, so I'm like, when the hell did Nightcrawler get a sword made out of pure goodness of will? I was
dude, that was a fun arc. That was a whole thing that was another Miles situation where I'm like, I can't be mad at this because like giving this fucking dude a sword is cool. Plus, like historically, he's had swords at points, and like the whole arc itself was really cool, involving his faith and shit. And I was like, all right, this is fun.
I literally was like, yes, this book and Miles' book is like, yes, normalize Spider-Man having
Spider-Man with bullshit swords. Give Peter a web sword for no reason.
Oh man, but yeah, again, what Seamus said, the best part about it is the relationship between Silver Sable and Nightcrawler. You never expect that thing to happen, but it works so well. And it's so
I would say the best part about it is this Night Thrasher ad they have. That's the best part about issue 5.
Shout out to Sean, my boy Sean from Zion, bro. He's a huge Night Thrasher fan.
The best part about this book is literally right before the emotional climax final page, they're like, fucking Night Thrasher, dude.
#1, let's go.
Dude, at the bottom it literally says he's leaving the 90s behind him.
Bro.
I'm buying that shit when that goes on sale. Honestly, next year, best comics of 2024, Night Thrasher is going to be
Night Thrasher #1, Night Thrasher. But nah, dude. The stuff with Orcus, even though I don't know that much about Orcus, but stuff with Orcus was really cool. That I had Vulture be involved.
Orcus is like Racist United. It's hilarious.
Pretty much.
They're literally like, we found the most racist people from every organization, and we all came together to genocide an entire race. It's like,
Bro,
fucking A, dude.
It's wild. But then, like, yeah, like you have like Vulture, who pretty much takes Cypher captive and uses technology to kidnap other like heroes and have them be under his bidding. That was awesome. Yeah, dude, this book was a surprise, and like I was telling you this, like I didn't know this was a miniseries. I thought this was gonna be an ongoing. So I was like, yeah, like I was very shocked that like it's just done now, and I really want Kirk to continue being a Spider-Man character. I want him to have the costume and everything.
Listen,
like it works so well.
We could, depending on what they do with him in the new X-Men era, but you know. I think this book was a short one for a reason, so they might have other plans for him, which sucks.
Yeah,
because I was fucking with him with Silver Sable. I was fucking with him like just being like I'm the Spider-Man of Central Park. Just this one little bit. I'm like, that's cool. I was so glad they did the. They finally were like, yeah, Mystique's his parent. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, someone cares about Claremont.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was just,
and plus,
everyone freaked the fuck out and be like, well, then why does he look like a devil? And I'm like, because he's
the whole Destiny Mystique retcon that like everyone was going crazy about.
Yeah. That was just such a silly moment. That was just so fun, though.
Oh man, but and this is my intro. This is my intro to Cy Spurrier, because I know he's writing Flash and like stuff like that right now, but like, I haven't. That's the only thing I've read of him so far. So, and he's a good writer. He's a really good writer.
His Flash has been pretty good. It's been a pretty good. He's been probably he's been a good follow up to Williamson's run on the Flash, which was that was good shit. But I'm glad. I need more of this book right now.
Yeah, I want more of it, but I don't know what plans they have next. But listen, as long as Kirk keeps the costume for a little while, I'm fine with that. Next book on my list. I'm forgetting what number I'm at, but who cares at this point? But the next book, Birds of Prey. We already talked about it. Yep. Birds of Prey. It's great. This book is good. This is actually my favorite cover. That's why I picked it. But this again, the team works so well. The artwork and the stylization of it, again, kind of reminds me a lot like Human Target, of like, that kind of like that civic style that they're going for, very like pop arty, very kind of like, like black exploitation type of art style they're going for. It works so well. Again, Barda fighting Wonder Woman was awesome. Right? Yep. This new villain that is involved with that is involved with Sin, I think is really awesome. And yeah, and the thing is, like, they're like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention this, that like Zealot's on the team, just cause she is, and it works.
Zealot was totally like a Kelly Thompson, like, give me a weird one so I can just have a weird one on the team, and then Zealot's just like, yeah, I'm here. You asked me to be here. I'm here. Fuck it.
Like Zealot making the deal with the island. I was like, this is just like, I don't know much about the character myself, but this is like kind of funny and just weird. And I'm just like, I like it. But yeah, man, Birds of Prey, man. This like Kelly Thompson again, killing it. Like this is such a good series, and I wouldn't be surprised if like I want this. I didn't mention it before, but I want this team to last a little while. Like I'm really enjoying it. Like the dynamic of what's going on. And after that last issue, that cliffhanger, I gotta read the next one. I know that the recent issue came out this week, so I'm gonna check that out for sure. But yeah, Birds of Prey, Kelly Thompson, Leonardo Romero, amazing. Read this book, please read it. Next book, again, we mentioned before how amazing it is. But speaking of Spider-Man with swords, Miles Morales Spider-Man, Cody Ziegler. Federico.
Oh, look, you got the same cover on there too.
Yeah, same cover. It's my favorite cover out of the.
It is my favorite cover. Yeah,
it's so good. Again, DK Ruan is an amazing cover artist. But yeah, dude, I mean, it's good. I mean, I don't want to reiterate what Seamus said, but it's good. Miles,
it's good shit.
Miles is some of the best Miles I've read in a very long, in a long time, since Ultimate Spider-Man with Bendis. It's so fun. Hobgoblin showing up as Miles' villain, arch nemesis now at this point is good. The recent stuff thing is like I didn't like I didn't bother to read the Carnage tie-ins. Right, I only read the one where Carnage and Scorpion fight, where Carnage fights Scorpion and Miles. But the Gang War stuff, it's good. Like that. Those tie-ins are not bad. I'm enjoying them, especially the stuff with Prowler. When Uncle Aaron comes back as Prowler, I loved it. I was like, this is, and join up with the Enforcers. I was like, this is fun. You know. Also, one thing I want to mention, because I mentioned how much I loved him, Miles, getting involved with Misty Knight and the Daughters of the Dragon, which I'm loving a lot. But also the fact that we forgot to mention that Miles is in therapy. He started to go to therapy for himself because he's dealt with so much trauma and he's dealt with so much stuff throughout the course of his arc that's become too much for him. The fact that it's kind of affecting his spider sense, kind of giving back to, like, Spider-Man 2 a little bit, like in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm loving that. It's you don't really see that nowadays. I'm like Moon Knight and Miles Morales, superheroes going to therapy. Normalize that shit. Love it. But yeah, it's the fact that Doc Samson's his therapist, I think it's so funny and it's so fun. But yeah, I am loving this series so far, and I can't wait to see what's next. Again, that Blade crossover was fire. Like, I honestly,
I was hyping that up because I was like, Mikey, did he do the perfect Halloween crossover?
Bro,
perfect one.
Not gonna lie, I know he's dating. I'm forgetting her name. The girl who's like wearing like the Falcon X costume. I'm forgetting
Tiana.
Yeah, Tiana. But like, listen, man, I wouldn't be mad if they had Brielle and Miles become a thing.
Yeah.
I was getting vibes. I was like,
it would be funny if only for Blade being his father-in-law.
yeah, right.
I mean, just for Blade to be like, fuck you. Your fucking Spider-Man is my son-in-law. Fuck this,
bro. Like, and again, that costume though, that Blade drip that Miles got, that was awesome. Like,
I hope they bring that
costume back. I hope they bring that costume back for the event that's coming out next year. This year. But yeah, Miles Morales Spider-Man, amazing. Read it. Next one. Shane, actually, should I make you guess for this one? Because this one, I'm surprised you didn't mention this one on your. I wasn't sure if you read it or not. But I did read a Batman book last year, which I don't really do because I read other books. Yeah, you want to guess what Batman book I read last year?
I feel like is it one of the Black Labels?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. I mean, listen, when you say Batman Black Label, that could be any of 7.
It could be anything.
Because I feel like Black Label is like a Batman.
Yeah, Batman. They've been shoving so much Batman content in Black Label to the point like it's kind of sickening at this point.
Like, it started with Batman, and I feel like it's gonna end with Batman. I'm gonna say, fuck. You know what? It's probably I'm gonna say City of Madness.
City of Madness.
I'm gonna say City of Madness.
I didn't touch City of Madness at all. It's actually Gargoyle.
Damn.
Dude,
I thought it would have been City of Madness because I read the first couple issues of that, and that art was it was insane.
I know. I watched the Benny do a video on it, and I need to read it. But listen, man, Batman Gargoyle of Gotham.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard. It was a surprise. It's written and with art, written and drawn by Raphael Grandpa, who I've been a fan of, like, his cover work, because he's been doing cover work for the past few years, and he doesn't really do a lot of interior stories. So the only time I saw him do interiors and I loved it was when he did that Dark Knight Returns like one shot that he wrote with Frank Miller. What was it, like, the Golden Child? Where we got that amazing Carrie Kelly as Batwoman costume that he designed. So I'm like, I was already a fan of his cover work. I was a fan of him as a character designer. So when they said, okay, we're gonna let this man cook and give him his own Batman book that's out of continuity, it's gonna be mature on Black Label, I was like, sign me up. I'm sign me up, dude. Have you read it? This book is incredible. Like it's only.
I haven't heard a thing about this book. I don't even know what is it about.
It is only 4 issues. There's only 2 issues out. This book is pretty much about. It's a character dissection of Batman to the point where, like, so Batman, right as of right now, it's the idea of what if Batman, like Bruce Wayne, is so dedicated and devoted to the mission of Batman that he's gonna decide to become Batman full time and kill the identity of Bruce Wayne forever, and how Alfred is opposed to that because he wants to keep Bruce alive because that keeps that's Bruce's humanity. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So what if like Batman Bruce wants to abandon the Bruce Wayne persona and just fully embrace himself as Batman full time is amazing. Is basically the general concept, and how maybe through the introduction of a new villain that again Raphael's creating his own rogues gallery for this, his own unique rogues gallery for this, but he's exploring the idea of what if the idea of Batman wasn't a creation of Bruce's, but it was implanted by somebody else for their own purposes. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And it's really good. The artwork.
Does he hang dong in this one?
No, it does not. But dude, if you love Raphael Grandpa's work,
I do.
He does the best artwork I've ever seen him do.
Okay. That's basically all you need to sell me on this book.
Yeah.
Raphael Grandpa is basically doing his best work.
So like his new rogues gallery I think is very interesting in terms of how this ties into Batman and like that premise that I just explained. There's like the design of Batman's costume is it's like, you know how much I love like the Batman White Knight like version of the Batman costume. Mm-hmm. This is just as good as that, if not maybe better than that design of the design of Batman. It's really good. He has the Batmobile is probably one of my favorite Batmobiles ever, dude. It is okay. So basically, I'm gonna show you this right now off rip. It literally it's this version of the Batmobile is this thing called he calls it the blind machine. So it's a Batmobile with no windows. It's connected to his cowl. So it's like it has no windows and he can see 360 degrees via like a HUD that he has in his cowl. So and this Batmobile transforms into other modes. So and it's awesome. It's so awesome. But yeah, man, this book is incredible. It's only 2 more issues left because there are chapters. There's only 2 more chapters left, and I'm very curious to see how it's gonna end. And hopefully, like if this does, which I think this is doing very well sales wise, this is gonna be kind of like a Gordon Murphy situation where he can make more stories in his Gargoyle universe. I would say it's really good. But yeah, that's on that. So the next one is that the next best comic. This is lower. This would be higher if I read all of it, but I'm still currently reading it. We actually did it on the podcast for our Fright Month event, and it is none other than Something Is Killing the Children by James Tynion IV and Werther Dell'Edera. Because me and Rebecca did the first volume together for Fright Month, so if you want to check that video out, I'll put it in the corner so you all check it out. Loved it. All right, it's really good. I kept reading. I'm like halfway done with this series. This book is incredible. James Tynion, man. Again, we did because we also did That's Something on the Lake, and we know much we love that book.
Yes, we are small time James Tynion glazers.
Yeah, we're glazing. Yeah, we're small time. We're glazing James Tynion. Dude, this book is so interesting and just so fun. If and just like in terms of like the world building involving like the House of Slaughter and all the other houses that are like the House of Butcher and the character of I think I'm gonna say Rebecca Slaughter, but that's probably not it. But The main character was kind of like a Buffy-esque type character, hunting down these monsters in this small town is awesome, and how that kind of spills out of control is so good. Again, I haven't finished it yet, but if you haven't read this book, read this book. It's one of the best horror books out right now, hands down. That's all I'm gonna say. Seamus, have you checked it out at all?
Yes, yeah, I got I'm looking at my 3 volumes I have sitting over there under my Lego Wolverine claw.
That's hilarious. But yeah, so you're. I mean, James Tyne, you were gonna check it out regardless, right?
Yeah. I'm like you. I haven't finished it yet, or caught up with it yet. I'm only have 3 volumes in. I got the 3 trades, but so far I've read the first 2, and yep, this shit hits. This is great shit.
Oh, but yeah, I digress. So the next best comic of 2023. This is a comic that I have been waiting for my entire life, because because we've been reading a lot of, because for the past I don't know how many years, there've been nothing but either bad comics or terrible appearances of this character, and I can finally say that post Don McGregor 90s version of the character, we finally have an amazing Blade series by Brian Hill and Elena Casagrande. Yes. This book is amazing. It's so good. It's everything I've been asking for a Blade book, where it's like, hey, let's do a Blade book where he's not fighting Deacon Frost and or Dracula.
The same 2 dudes he's been fighting since the 90s.
Yes.
Yeah. So here's the thing. This is on my list. I didn't put it on there because I knew it'd be on yours, and I knew you really wanted to talk about it. So I was like, we'll let Mikey get that one, because yes, Blade is one of the best comics of this year. But I'll let you have your piece.
So for real talk, right? This book, amazing, all right? Because again, if you didn't watch my video of me talking about the Blade video game, I talked about how Blade hasn't had a good series in a long time. Like literally, it's it's the Tomb of Dracula stuff, the stuff from the 90s, and then the battle, and then ever since then it was Mark Guggenheim's run, which is terrible. It's trash. It's where Blade fights his dad, and I hate it so much. And then just a bunch of nonchalant appearances because they didn't know what to do with Blade for years, and then this is it's the comeback we needed. Brian Hill, again, I was a fan of his because of his Killmonger book he did a few years ago, and I love that book. So Blade, not fighting Deacon Frost and Dracula, but a literal god who's pretty much like the queen of monsters or something like that, pretty much. Her coming across, and the thing is, it's the first couple of issues of the series, it's kind of James Bondy in a way, where he's kind of doing vampire hunting spy shit, and having sex with women, and then realizing Blade fucks, and then him crossing with Doctor Strange it was also dope, and the fact that as of right now he's going for guidance to figure out how to deal with this arch nemesis. He's going to one of his biggest enemies, which is Dracula, to teach him the ways to build up get his power up and unlock his hidden vampire potential is awesome, and I love it. And Elena Casagrande is my first time hearing about this artist. She kills it. She does a really good job with the artwork. And yeah, man, this Blade series, bro. Listen, last year was a great year to be a Blade fan, no doubt. And we'll talk about how that's gonna be setting up, one of the biggest Blade things happening this year.
You're getting fed this year. You are getting fed this year.
It's been long overdue. It's been long overdue.
Honestly, it has, because it's so insane to me that for a character that is so well known in the public consciousness as Blade, when people want to read Blade comics, you have 3 recommendations tops. And that's not because there are so many bad runs. It's just because there are not enough Blade runs out there. So honestly, he kind of deserves the next year to be Blade only.
All right, so I think I'm at my top 5 right now. But yeah, Blade, y'all, if you haven't read this shit, read it. It's too good. It's too good. And we'll probably talk about a little bit more towards the end of the podcast. But the next, I think my top 5 so far. So number 5, Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil.
Of course. Look, same cover too again. Fuck yeah. Look at that.
The synergy, man. Yeah, I mean, we already talked enough about it, but yeah, listen. Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil, and I said it on so many podcasts at this point, is the best Daredevil I've read in a decade, in a very long time. It's so good. It's such a good series. Again, Declan, you can eat shit because the fact that you're sleeping on this series for no reason is just, come on. Like, why? It just, like, it's such a good series from the Red Fist saga arc has been so fun, and it has been taking Daredevil in such a different territory that we've seen him in terms of like the Fist, and then him building a Thunderbolts team involving the Fist, and then the Beast stuff, and then all the supernatural stuff. It's so good, and it's such a great, and that ending was so strong in terms of like, you know, even though Daredevil gets a second chance at life, Matt gets a second chance at life, Daredevil is needed in Daredevil is needed in terms of to protect Hell's Kitchen. Like, there's you can give Matt a new life as long as you want, but no matter what life you give him, he's still Daredevil, and it's just it's amazing.
It's incredible to me that for some fucking reason, Daredevil just continuously gets the best runs of comics.
Right?
It's so weird to me that they're just like that. For some reason, Matt just brings the best out of his writers.
Right? It's crazy.
And
again, this series cemented Chip Zdarsky as one of my top 5, like top 10 favorite writers of all time. It's cemented Marco Checchetto as one of my favorite artists of all time because he's phenomenal. Because it's my introduction to Checchetto as well during the Daredevil run.
Speaking of, we're going to talk about Checchetto more at the end of this podcast because there's been something we've been teasing that we can get to sometime.
True, but again, people, if you have not read this book, if you haven't listened to Seamus,
you gotta read
it for the past 2 years. Read it.
It's a long read. It involves a whole line-wide event, but it is so worth it.
Look, think about it. Zdarsky's Daredevil has been so good. They gave him his own event, which never happened. This hasn't happened. This only happened one other time, which is Shadowland. That sucked. So it's been great. It's been so good. But yeah, I'm definitely just like Human Target. The moment that I get an Omni of this is getting comped immediately. Yep. I don't care. Next one, Seamus. I mean, this one kind of is also a no-brainer for me for people that know me as a comic book fan. But I'm surprised. Maybe this was also on your list, but you took it out because I was going to talk about it. But what number is this? Fucking 4. Three. 4. Let's go with 4. Number 4 is none other than Static Childs of Dakota by Vidi Ayala and Nicholas.
I did take this one out.
This book, amazing. This book is amazing. It's just, it's what I liked from Static Season 1. But, you know, Nicholas Draper Ivy co-writing it with Vidi Ayala. So this is, again, him flexing his writing chops a little more, which I'm proud of him for that because he's my god. I'm a huge fan of Draper Ivy's work. But now, you know, giving Ebon the shine that he deserves and making him kind of in a way like a Magneto to Virgil's character in a way. It's in terms of like, you know, their different ideologies of like, you know, getting stuff done is so good. And like the way they did, because like Ebon in the cartoon, because again, this is his comic book debut for everyone who doesn't know. He all he really pretty much could do was like, you know, he could go through shadows and stuff, and like he can go through shadows and stuff, and he can kind of like stretch and like change like his size and all that stuff. Like it was pretty basic stuff. But then they expanded on his abilities. I was like, the point like it's kind of the point like it's kind of scary the shit he can do. He can like go into people's minds and fuck people up that way. and like the fact that like his powers not only stem from the Big Bang, but like all the people that died from the Big Bang live through Ebon, and it's just like, bro, what?
I fuck with it. Usually, I don't fuck with people like changing powers for no reason. Blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was such a good.
They made Ebon scary.
They made him scary. They made him overpowered, but they didn't make him like crazy stupid. You know what I mean? They just made him more of like an ethereal threat that Static has to like go up against, and it makes it more of like an emotional battle for Static because he can just fuck with Static so bad.
Yeah, and the thing is like this book was a lot more of the emotional arc for this version of Static, just because of him dealing with that, because the whole series evolves around Bang Babies getting kidnapped and being experimented on by like this secret organization, and the fact that like the kid he was mentoring, who we saw as like a little brother to him, ends up getting killed, and how he noticing like the consequences of the bad side of being a hero. The hero may be fun, but maybe could be fun, but like the darker side of what a hero has to go through, in terms of emotionally. I thought was really well done, and yeah, man, it was awesome, man. The Blood Syndicate shows up and it's awesome. Like I really enjoyed it. It's phenomenal. And again, Draper Ivy killed it, and the fact that we get his final costume is an updated version of the costume for the TV show. I was like, you know what? It's so much fun. If you're a Static fan, read this book. Like, just read this book. Then my next one, I think I'll say 2 or 3. I don't remember at this point. Actually, it's number 2. Yeah. So Radiant Black, Kyle Higgins, Marcelo Costa. We already talked about it enough, but like it's really good. It's just great. It hasn't failed. This was my number 1 of last year. But another book has topped it. But again, if you love Power Rangers, Invincible, Tokusatsu, read this book. It's just nonstop fun, and it has a really good job of being a fun comic, just like how Invincible was. But also, it doesn't shy away from being serious, and try to have some like good emotional moments, especially like with Marshall and Nathan's relationship, their friendship. I thought was really awesome, and what they're doing right now, again, having us choose who'd be Radiant Black, where we're kind of taking our cake and eating it too. I'm loving it so far. But I'm curious to see how this current arc is going to wrap up and how it's going to converge together. Yeah. But yeah, man, Radiant Black is just awesome. And then when you get a chance, read the other books in the series. Like, I didn't put it on my list, but like Inferno Girl Red was a good spinoff. I read a little bit of No One, and that one was really good and was solid. But it's just Kyle Higgins. I mean, yeah, listen, you did some foul shit, but listen, you converted Seamus.
He died this year, Mikey. That was so funny. For those off camera earlier, for a little reference, we were looking up people who died this year for the in memoriam, and Mikey goes, Kyle Higgins, and I was like, what? And he was like, oh shit, no, I read that wrong. And I was like, no way.
I didn't read it. I was thinking it, and I was like, shit.
You were thinking. You remember when Kyle Higgins wrote in Barbara and Bruce having sex, and you were like, he must go.
But yeah, no, Radiant Black, read this shit. It's phenomenal. All right, my number 1 pick, my number 1 book of the year. This book topped Radiant Black because this book, even though this book came out like around the time Radiant Black did, but I didn't read it until this year. My number 1 book, and if you saw the accolades earlier in the podcast, you would already know what it is. But my number 1 book is none other than, and I'm gonna do a drum roll real quick. Philadelphia by Rodney Barnes and art by Jason Sean Alexander. It sucks because Seamus, you just started. You don't know, bro. You don't know what's going on.
This is good. But from what you say, it's great.
It's the tip of the iceberg. It's the tip of the iceberg. Well, for the most part, like this series every single issue has been not just good, but a banger. It hits. Rodney Barnes, again, what I said earlier, really great storyteller, knows how to draw, knows how to write really unique and relatable characters. The fact that he ties in a lot of really relevant social commentary in this crazy ass vampire story, it's just great. Seamus, you already know who the villain of the first volume is?
I think so. I think I've gotten that far. I'm only in the first issue so far.
Okay.
I think.
I'm not gonna say anything, but it's just, it's just like it involves an important part of American history, and I will tell you that. That's all I will say. But the fact that this was a good job of of making really relatable characters, really realistic. Like these characters feel real, even like we feel like real characters, even though there's in a world of vampires and the supernatural. But which I can say the same thing about Nita Hawes' Nightmare Blog as well. But there's the fact that it can be serious, but also it has a lot of fun with the content that it's exploring. And the fact that right now, that as you can see from the cover that I just picked, like the fact that Rodney Barnes has been killing it so hard with this book. He was like, Toddy M, Toddy Mick, can I borrow Spawn right quick? It spawns in this book, and it works so well. And it is like, bruh, it's been a ride, bro. It's been one of the best comics I've read in a very long time. That I'm in. Like I love this world, love this universe, and when Rodney Barnes, when we interview on this year, which it will happen, I want to know the nitty gritty, bro, because it's so good. This book is amazing. So Seamus, all I'm gonna say to you is, have fun, be ready, buckle up.
I'm definitely gonna, from the way you're hyping it up, I'm definitely gonna catch up by the end of this month. I think. I feel like I'm gonna fuck with it hard.
Like there's a big character there's a big character that crosses over between Philadelphia and Nita Hawes' Nightmare Blog, who is a big player. Like he's my favorite character out of the whole series so far. And he interacts with Spawn in such a lethal weapon type of way. It gets me to tears.
Dude, you sold me so hard in Spawn is in a lethal weapon relationship with a character. That instantly makes this so fucking good. Spawn lethal weapon. I'm in, bro.
And I know that Jason Shawn Alexander is. I know we did some Spawn stuff, like in the 2000 earlier in his career, but I know this is some of the best art I've seen him do. Like this is kind of like my intro back to his artwork, because I only seen his artwork in that Spawn stuff that he did in the early 2010s. But his artwork is so well done. It's like a realistic, a painted realistic style that works. That's kind of has comic booky elements to it. It works so well, and it's some of the best horror that I've seen in a long time, along with Something's Killing the Children as well. It's really good, man. So Philadelphia, best comic of 2023 for me by far. And Seamus, I need constant updates about what you're reading.
I'll give you the cut. I will send a snap every other week of holy fuck.
But yeah, man, that's it for my best of the year. But all right, Seamus, real quick, we've been here for too long. We gotta breeze through some of these. But do you have a slide for your most anticipated books, upcoming books that are coming out?
I do not.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we just list them out.
It was mostly because I could do them off rip, and I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Most anticipated as of right now, not a lot announced, but I will say very hyped for Ultimate Black Panther and Ultimate X-Men, of course. Mm-hmm. I feel like those two are going to pop off. Peach Momoko is going to be insane on that book. And Hit for Black Panther already has me hyped, involving like the whole Ra and Khonshu type deal and everything. Mm-hmm. That's super interesting. Whenever the Justice League come back, whatever their book that will be, that's probably going to be really sick as hell. And finally, my most anticipated book, based off the first issue, is the rest of Ultimate Spider-Man, because holy shit, that was an incredible first issue, and I just it was just
man, it was great. Like, and I think it's like I'm gonna go through my. Look, I actually I have slides for it, but my anticipated. I'm just gonna breeze through them. Some of these books, their issues already. I only read their first issues recently came out, so that's why I still count them as anticipated.
Yeah. Most of it's gonna be next year, so yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, just real quick, you mentioned already like my first one. This is also from like least like somewhat excited to like very excited. But Ultimate X-Men by Peach Momoko. I mean, it's gonna be her be like, okay, let me try to manga verse the X-Men in a way.
I think this is gonna be a sleeper. I think you're gonna be shocked by how good this shit is. That's what I think.
So far, I think like from what I've seen from her Instagram and seeing like all the character like her May Storm character that she's creating for it. I thought it was really like the designs that are very unique and very like again like Eastern art influence. Like again, Armor seems like it's gonna be a version of Armor is gonna be like a big character. It seems like so. I'm like it's not how I would approach the X-Men, but like I'm curious to see what her approach is going to be.
Okay, here's my theory. That is my theory is that she is hiding most of the actual X-Men who will already be formed. I think Armor's going to be the Jubilee, the rogue character that is thrust into the world of the X-Men, and then at the end of the first issue, the X-Men show up, and it's like a big wow moment of like, holy shit, that's the team. Who's who? You know what I mean? I think that's why most of the marketing has been focused around Armor, because she's going to be the point of view character for when we get the actual X-Men pulling up, and then you're going to be like, holy fuck, like Ultimate Nightcrawler or some shit, you know?
I got you.
So that's why it's probably a little higher on anticipated for me. Only because of my own thoughts of how it's gonna go.
But yeah, so Ultimate X-Men, definitely looking forward to that. The next one, because the first issue dropped last month, but I was surprised by it when I read it, because I was like, like I like this character, but like I didn't expect that first issue to be as good as I thought it was. But Seamus, I don't know if you're a fan of this character, but for me, the Sentry. That first issue was good. I was very surprised by it.
I saw this when I was picking up my haul yesterday, and I was thinking about it. I was like, because it looked cool and the covers look cool, and I heard it was pretty good, and I was like, I might check that out. But
yeah, I like the first issue was pretty solid. Like I really like the concept, because like as people don't know right now, this like Robert Reynolds, like the Sentry is dead, but the fact that, you know, basically this comic is pretty much like these random people are getting or out of nowhere getting aspects of the Sentry's power. So like the fact like the body of the Sentry's dead, but this power is still lingering around. So like it's pretty much like people out of nowhere like developing Sentry abilities, and Misty Knight and all them are trying to and Jessica Jones are investigating on what's going on, and it's very. That first issue like grabbed me. I was like, it's very interesting. So yeah, the second issue came out this week, so I'm gonna read that as well. But so far the Sentry, I'm digging it. I'm really digging it. The next one, I just found out about this one today. But because now that I'm a Cy Spurrier fan, I'm gonna be checking out his John Constantine, the Hellblazer, Dead in America. I don't know anything about this book, but the fact that it's Cy Spurrier and Aaron Campbell, the people that don't know, Aaron Campbell did the book Infidel with Pornstock Pincher Show, which we did for our first spooky special back in 2022. And he's an amazing artist. So that was enough to sign me up. I was like, I will be checking this out. So yeah, John Constantine, Hellblazer. The next one, just like the Sentry, first issue came out last month, and I love that issue so much. I was like, I'm looking forward to reading the rest of it. But Thunderbolts, Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing, and Geraldo Borges. This issue was awesome. That first issue was so baller, because it's literally freaking it's Bucky and then teaming up with Val to try to take out try to kill Red Skull. And that's the first issue, is them trying to assassinate Red Skull. And it's
That's
awesome.
hype. That's hype. Finally someone's fucking doing it.
Yeah, right? And then it ends up having what's her name? Sharon Carter, who goes by the name of the Destroyer now, involved part of the team. And then you have Red Guardian show up. And it's just like
movie synergy.
Yep. So the roster so far is interesting, and like I thought that first issue was hard. Was it not? If you're into like spy shit, like really cool like spy shit and like classic like Dark Thunderbolts with like a bit of like some nice little balanced humor in there, read this book. This book is awesome, and the artwork by Geraldo Borges is really good. So. Next one, Jim has already said it, but Ultimate Black Panther, Brian Hill, Anna Caselli, looks
big
great.
Brian Hill heads.
Bro, Brian Hill, bro. Again, if he didn't give us a resurgence of Blade, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he's gonna do with Black Panther.
Yeah.
Again, the fact that like a version of Moon Knight is the antagonist of this series, like I think is really interesting because again, like.
Moon Knight is getting dragged through the mud currently.
Yeah.
He's the villain of Timeless. He's the villain of Ultimate Black Panther. He just got fucking shot and murdered in his own book.
Yeah. Like it's the fact that like Boss technically is an Egyptian god, so like why wouldn't Moon Knight and Black Panther have not crossed paths before, Mm-hmm. So and with this version is interesting, and from it looks like this because an issue. I don't know if you saw the cover issue too, but like. Moon Knight, I guess, is a moniker split between two characters.
They're doing the fist thing that they just introduced in Jed McKay's run of how Mark is the right hand of Khonshu and Hunter's Moon's the left hand of Khonshu, which I think is an interesting thing to do, and I fuck with them continuing that.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, the costume looks dope, even though when I first saw it, I thought it was really over-designed, and I was like, okay, but it's growing on me. But I'm really looking forward to what Brian Hill's going to do with this. And obviously, the next one, which we mentioned before, we can do like a little mini review. But the Ultimate Spider-Man, which came out today, this book was amazing. I'm really looking forward to seeing the rest of the series. This book was incredible. Like this first issue was really good, and I'm just like, dude, Hickman again. Hickman was an amazing writer. Wrote probably like the best and only Peter Parker Ben Parker relationship I've ever read. I love the dynamic together a lot. The fact that Jonah is now again he's still Jonah, but like
Jonah's like Uncle Jonah now.
Uncle Jonah now, and it's like it's really fun. The fact that like it's like Peter with a family, him married to MJ, 2 kids, and. And realizing that there's something missing in his life, which again, if people who read the Ultimate Universe one shot, they know what actually missing. How he's supposed to be Spider-Man way earlier, as he should be, but that was taken away from him because the maker. I thought it was really interesting, and then like the way he becomes Spider-Man, like how's that gonna work? Like him becoming Spider-Man as like a 34-year-old.
Yeah,
I thought it was really interesting, and I was like,
it was the most compelling Peter Parker I've read in a couple of years because it was the most relatable Peter's ever been, with the fact that he was going through his day and it was like stuff that he normally does, but he was just like, something feels off, like something doesn't feel right, but I don't know what it is, and I have to go find out what it is, but it might require me to go through some like insane changes. And MJ and Ben specifically is like, you got to do it, kid. Like, you can't sit there on your ass the whole time. And MJ's like, listen, whatever you do, I'll support you because I love you as a wife. And Peter's like, I love you too, MJ. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck Nick Lowe. I'm saying it. His tweet about Ultimate Spider-Man #1 was maybe the worst response I could have ever seen to this.
What did he say?
He was making a big joke about how they're married now. Whoa. And I was like, dude, you don't get to make that fucking joke, dude. Okay? Sit down and shut up. You don't get to do that.
You and Joe Quesada were against the marriage for
That's what I'm saying.
years.
I'm like, listen, dude. Like, it's such like a little poke towards the people who really want the marriage of just like, get it? We're never gonna do that over here, eh? And it's just like, dude, that is so unnecessary and so disrespectful, and it's just not needed to make jokes like that, to be like, haha. I don't. That really rubbed me the wrong way when I saw it earlier today, and I was just like, dude, if I were you, I would just be like, hey, check out the Spider-Man book by Jonathan Hickman. It's probably going to be good. Not do that and then make a little joke under it about, oh, fuck you, dude.
And the thing is, right? It's just like the fact that they like with Ultimate Spider-Man. Obviously, we have that envision in our heads when we think, because we grew up, our generation grew up reading Ultimate Spider-Man with Bendis, right?
Ultimate Spider-Man was my first comic I ever read. It was our first one.
Oh, really? Ultimate Spider-Man was my first Spider-Man comic I ever read. It wasn't my first comic, but
the first arc that I read was the I think it was one of the first Ultimate Doc Ock arcs. I picked it up. My mom got it for me. It was literally like one of the first books I read. I rented it from the library. It was one of the trades.
That's the thing too.
Yeah,
that's what I was reading. That's how I got to know the Spider-Man, because I was getting it from my local library.
Yes, and that's why. So Ultimate Spider-Man specifically is like a very important place in my heart, because that's like what started reading comics. So the fact that this not only lived up to, but like almost surpassed a lot of Ultimate Spider-Man's run, was insane to me.
Because when you think of Ultimate Spider-Man, when you think about it, they could have easily just did the whole same thing, Peter Parker, teenager, whatever, but have these different tweaks like how Bendis did it, right? But no, it's still a Spider-Man book, but it's drastically different in terms of like, it's Peter Parker with a family, which we've seen before with like Renew Your Vows and all that stuff like that. Life Story and all that stuff like that. But like, it's Peter Parker, but Ben is alive and is a character. Aunt May, unfortunately, is the one that is dead in this one. Harry and Peter Parker aren't friends in this universe. So like these very like drastic changes to this character make it a lot more interesting. But again, like, it's still a Spider-Man book, but it's a different retelling of Spider-Man that we're used to.
Yeah, because it's so interesting to see that Peter is still the same person, but he just feels empty because he feels like there's a piece of him missing that he never knew that he needed. And it's so interesting to see that even in a universe where he didn't become Spider-Man, he still yearns to be Spider-Man. Like, he still yearns to be better and do good for the greater good. And it was just so perfect to me, because I was like, yes, because it also didn't feel like, I think an issue is that a lot of writers like to make Peter feel burdened by it. You know what I mean? Whereas it's almost like if he can't stop doing it, or he will feel such crushing guilt that he would have to go back to doing it. Whereas instead, Hickman kind of takes the approach of like, no, that's just such a part of his being that he requires it. You know what I mean? Like, if he can't stop doing it because that is him. That's who he is.
That's who he is.
And I'm like, that's such a much better interpretation than, well, he doesn't really want to do it, but he's forced to, and that guilt makes him want to do it. It's like, no, this fucking dude loves helping people. And if he's not able to help people, even in another universe, he feels like there's a piece of him missing, a part of his soul. And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude.
Dude, it's so well written. It's so well written, and it's just like, man.
I like Tony Stark showing up being like, hey, dude, this was supposed to happen 20 years ago. Fuck. And then all those memes everyone was saying of like Tony now has to go to every character that wasn't created and create them. Like, he shows up to Frank Castle's family and just starts gunning them down. Or that one meme I sent you about like, oh, he's forcing Norman to have sex with Mysterio, so Sin's Past happens. Oh man. Tony's doing some depraved shit to get these heroes back in action.
Honestly. But yeah, other than that, man, this book is amazing. Again, I also love Jonah and Ben's relationship, like their friendship, their it's so fun. Like, it's such a fun thing. But I'm very looking forward to seeing the next issue. Now we're seeing like, Peter now as Spider-Man, seeing how that's gonna work. I think is gonna be this. Now we have this. That's something we've never really seen before, which is great. Seeing Peter learn how to be Spider-Man as a 35-year-old.
As someone who is not as limber and not as Spider-Man,
Exactly.
which is gonna be funny.
Exactly.
How I listen. I'm doing a 3-way parlay. My first bet is that I definitely think there's gonna be a My Back reference at some point where he's training to be Spider-Man and he's gonna do a Toby like my back. And I'm like, yo, that's gonna happen.
I will also say one other thing too, that so now obviously they're doing a version of the Green Goblin, but they're just referring to him as the Goblin. We in our minds, obviously as comic book fans, we would think, oh, it's Harry. I don't think it's Harry. Like, it's too obvious.
It's him on the cover. It's him on the cover for issue 2.
No, I meant like the identity. No, like they're keeping the identity of the Goblin a secret. I think, right? They haven't revealed anything.
They dropped one of the variant artists for issue 1. Dropped the variant for issue 2 that is a companion piece, and it's Harry.
Oh, really? Okay. Shit. Well,
so I think it is Harry. Apologies to shoot that down immediately.
All right. Oh, fair enough. All right then.
It was that one, where Peter's the variant for 1, where Peter's swinging, and then in the reflection, it's like regular Peter.
Mm-hmm.
The variant for issue 2 was Goblin coming the other way, and then in the reflection, it's Harry in his suit.
I gotcha. That's also an interesting take. Like an older Peter Parker learning how to be Spider-Man, but also now his arch nemesis is Harry Osborn, who in another universe is his best friend. That is
and I guess Goblin's supposed to be another hero in this universe too.
I gotcha.
To see. I'm interested to see how their dynamic develops, because that's going to be really. He's setting up some spicy shit. I just really hope there's not too much like family and marital drama with Peter and his family, because I feel like that might get a little like. Not old, but just like a little like, okay. You know what I mean? And we've tread this ground so much that it's now just like nothing. You know?
But yeah, man, Ultimate Spider-Man, I would rate it the first issue. I'd give it like a 9. It's really good.
Oh, I'd give it a 10. I think this is one of the best single issues of any Spider-Man comic or comic alone ever.
Fair enough. All right, people, check it out. It's in stores now. Last one. It's my last one, but obviously we talked about Blade, and again, we're eating this year because Blade's getting his own event called Blood Hunt, and it's by Jed McKay, and I didn't know who the artist was until I looked it up, but I was like, Pepe Larraz is
doing the art too. It's like my favorite book and your favorite book did a fusion dance, and now we get our own Blade event that's just gonna be. It's like they marketed it specifically towards us.
Dude, I know nothing about what's going on with this event. I don't care, because if it's gonna stem off of the Blade series.
Look, they got Sam Wilson on the cover. I'm there.
Dude, if they're gonna stem off of the Blade series, and also they've been teasing a lot of stuff with vampires and Moon Knight as well. And it's Jed McKay and Pepe Larraz. I'm yes.
I'm in.
Yes, it's a wrap. Take my money. Simple as that. I don't know how. Do you know how? Did you know how long it's gonna be? Because this comes out during the summer, so we have time before it comes out. But I mean, like, you know how long?
I assume it's gonna be another. Like 6-issue event with like 4 or 5 tie-ins.
I don't like tie-ins, but fuck it, I don't care.
I don't either, but I'm probably gonna fucking read them for this event, because this event's probably gonna be hype as shit. At least for us.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait.
Oh, I heard today a new announcement today of a book I'm excited about. Totally forgot about this. The new Ghost Rider with made for me. They're making the Hood Ghost Rider, and I'm here fucking for it, bro. I'm so excited for that. Listen, you can't listen. Even if you don't like the Hood or don't give a fuck about the Hood, you can't lie to me and say that design doesn't look hard.
No, I know. It does look hard. I'm not gonna deny that. It does look hard, bro. Like it's. I literally like questioned. I was like, why? But then like I saw it and I was like, oh shit! Like this actually looks kind of tough. I'll actually screen share real quick because I just got the thing. But that design looks awesome. But again, like I haven't been reading Ghost Rider, so I don't know how. I'm curious to see like how the Hood becomes the new Ghost Rider. You know, it's just.
Oh, look at that shit, dude.
it does look hard though, and I feel like it's not kind of overpowered that like he has the crazy power like powers of like the Hood, and then now the Spirit of Vengeance on top of that. That's a little bit much.
Yeah, dude, no one reads Ghost Rider. They got to do something to bring other readers in.
That's true.
It's like me and two other dudes on Reddit.
But yeah, man, I will read the first issue. I will give you that because I'm so interested in like how the Hood becomes Ghost Rider. I'm so interested about how that happens. So, yeah. Plus that design is so 90s. It is ridiculous. I literally looked at it. I was like, yeah, they really want to try to make a version of Spawn into a Marvel comic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Benjamin Percy Ghost Rider run has been similar to like the Daredevil run or like the Moon Knight run, where it's had multiple evolutions where it's stopped and started. You know what I mean? Like it's a new arc. So we're gonna have a new number one. Yeah, it's been kind of fun. It's been mostly focused on Johnny Blaze, which is like not my favorite Ghost Rider. And then they were teasing a new Ghost Rider. I don't know if Parker Robbins is the new Ghost Rider or if he's going to be like the interim. Like they're doing a quick like, oh, here's a new Ghost Rider, and then they're dropping a new. Because I know the new Ghost Rider they said was revealed in March, but it might be Parker officially, which would be, because I was already like, dude, I don't need another Ghost Rider. But now that they're like, oh, it's actually the Hood, I'm like, maybe we did need another Ghost Rider. But yeah, I'm excited. I'll definitely pick that up because that looks metal as fuck, dude.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. But any final thoughts on? I know there's like some books I didn't get a chance to read last year. Like for instance, like I heard Green Arrow was really good, and like I'm a huge Green Arrow fan, and it's sacrilege I didn't check out this book. But that book I didn't get a chance to read at all. But yeah, I mean, so far, man, listen, 2023, pretty good year.
I was gonna say, incredible year. Honestly, it was. There were a lot of good shit coming out. So I don't know why there are so many people complaining on Twitter. There's so much bitching going on, and I'm like, guys, there's so much good shit on Twitter. There's so much good shit you could read that you could just like not bitch about stuff. You could just talk about good shit like me and Mikey did today.
Yeah, man. Listen, we've talked about how good comics were for the past 3 hours.
I know. Like, you know, it was a good year when my worst comic of the year was comic fans bitching.
True, but yeah, no. So far, man, this is a pretty good year. I mean, a lot of the books that we talked about on our best are gonna carry over to this year anyway. So like, well, it
was funny because this year felt a lot of like our best was like either books that just started or books that ended this year. So it was very funny to have like, oh, this book is good, but there's only 2 issues out. Oh, this book is good, but it technically ended in like the first 3 months of this year.
Yeah, true. But yeah, man, this was a great year, and I'm looking forward to some of the new books that come out this year. One thing I did have a gripe with is that like I didn't see anything milestone related on the slate for this year.
That's a little concerning.
Besides, like I guess like on Wikipedia, so there was an untitled like Worlds Collide product that was happening. But like other than that, I didn't see anything on the any solicits or anything saying that there's gonna be a new milestone book happening. So I was very concerned. I was like, yeah. But yeah, man. I mean,
I'm gonna pray on it. I'm gonna hope.
But yeah, people. That's all we gotta say. Then yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks for everyone who are watching this. We're watching this. We had a pretty good turnout today. We appreciate the support. Yeah, people, listen, 2024, new year, new indie corner, people. We're gonna as of right now, I'm working on an indie corner rewind for last year, like what I did for 2022. I'm just talking about our second year as a channel, and it was I know we'll get into that. It was a little bit of a slower year, but it was still a great year nonetheless. I'm so glad for that. So as well as I believe sometime either this weekend or next week, we will be doing best and worst TV and movies of 2023. So that's going to be a really fun podcast, and we're gonna do everything out. We're gonna do superhero movies, but everything also outside of superhero content as well. So these movies and TV shows in general that I'm
gonna have a lot to say on that one.
That's the thing. I'm having a hard time developing my list because there's so much that came out last year that I'm like, damn. Yeah. Musa says great job. Thank you, Musa, for watching it.
Thank you, Musa.
I appreciate it.
God bless you.
Thank you for pushing through. But listen, I have plans for this year. Just definitely more After Darks. Definitely want to continue doing Deadly Class. Obviously, finish that series up, but also do some. There's a series I really want to do that I want to do for this year. That's gonna happen.
Yeah, Lock and Key coming up next.
But just be on the lookout for new content. Hit the notification bell so you know when we drop new videos. When we get to them. Also check out Indie Corner After Dark. Check out the Deadly Class series. Check out Fright Month because that was really fun. We will definitely do another Fright Month this year. Check out the Transformers stuff. Check out the reactions. Everything. Plenty of content we put our hard blood, sweat, and tears into. And we really appreciate the support and all the love. We're almost at 200, so that subscribers. So that's gonna be a fun milestone to hit. But yeah, it means a lot to us. And yeah, looking forward to the new year. It's gonna be a fun one. I hope it's a successful one. We will and more interviews. That is definitely the plan. I want to do more interviews this year. So yeah. Without further ado, people, comment down below what were your favorite books of this year, of last year. What are your best books of last year? We'd love to hear what you think in the comic books down below. And yeah, as always, get home safe, and we'll see you next time. All right, later.
See you.